everybody. Welcome to QueueTimes, the Twitchiest channel on Twitch. Hi, everybody. Nope, that's not what I meant.
Well, what did you mean? Illuminate me.
I was just trying to come up with a thing to say.
You did it.
Thanks, man.
I'm happy.
Hi, my name is Krug. Me and these wonderful people around me are here to play and enjoy the Dawn of Flame adventure path from Paizo. It's going to be fun. But today we're doing a session 0 so that we can kind of get an idea of who these people are playing and how these people or characters know each other, which is going to be fun. But before we get into that, let's go around the table and introduce ourselves, starting with you.
I'm Alex. I go by he, him. I am playing a Lashunta named Soren today. Also, he, him.
I'm going to be Klaxar, the gray alien. I am a mechanic, and my theme is roboticist.
We're not streaming, but it says streaming.
We are streaming. I'm looking at it.
Yep.
My phone and my computer do not.
Well, if you can see it, let us know in the comments to the right.
The audio is good.
Wouldn't it be
I
wonderful
can't see it.
if we were just not streaming for the for some reason only your computer?
I'd want to know how we
to
pulled that
your
off.
own private Twitch channel.
Yay!
Okay, gotcha. Cool. I see it on my phone as well.
So Indigo is a great alien.
That's it. That's
That's
all.
really all there
That's
is
all
to
you're
it,
getting
huh?
from me right now.
You.
My name is Jonas, he, him, and today I will be playing the piece of shit Elder Zan, who is a, what's it called?
There's no
Kasatha. Kasatha.
Oh, I'm he, him, and Klaxar is they, them.
Kasatha, I mean Zan is also he, him.
All right, I'm Katie. I'm she, her. I will be playing Morgan the Third, an android technomancer engineer, and that's about all that I know. Other than I'm awesome.
Great. I'm William, they them, and I'm playing Boomclap, a Yusoki pilot operative. The end.
There you go.
Morgan is she, her as well.
Yeah, and Boomclap is he, him.
Good times.
There we go.
And you already know that I'm Krug. I go by he, him. I'm going to be playing every character in the game aside from those ones.
You could play mine if you feel like it.
You can also play mine.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of cool with that.
This side of the table was really thinking about leaving.
Honestly, we were kind of whispering while you were all introducing yourselves. Maybe we don't want to.
We're going to take a quick 15-minute break so that I can go cry. Just kidding. Okay, so now that
That's
we...
pretty dope. You only need 15 minutes to cry?
Yeah, that's
Are you sure you're a
I need
millennial?
like
I was going to say, that's a pretty long time. That was a pretty long time at some point in the world. Great. So now that we have a basic idea of what the party consists of, we're going to talk a little bit about the world. We're not going to get too deep into it because obviously we don't want to spoil anything for the players, but we do want everybody to have a basic understanding of kind of the background of the situation that the players are going to be in when they start the campaign. Also, just kind of full disclosure, Indigo's already read the first 2 chapters of this because we did a review on this book over on our channel, our YouTube channel, QueueTimes Main. If you want to go look at that, it's spoiler free if you don't want to have the session spoiled for you. So he knows a lot of what happens, but
I know nothing.
well,
No, like legitimately,
Did you forget everything?
I remember the very first encounter.
oh really?
Like that is it.
Okay. Well,
Like
Is this it? I can read up on that.
regardless, no, that's just the support rule book. Regardless of whether or not you know anything, like he's not going to be using the
No,
information
no,
because
no.
you know he is good at role playing games. So that's kind of where we are with that.
in all honesty, if I remembered more, I would probably make it worse for everyone. It'd be like, oh, there's like 5,000 credits in this room. No, there's nothing in that room. We should just keep going.
The background of that you need to be familiar with in order for this to make sense, or that you should be familiar with in order for it to make more sense, is that the sun is in the Pact Worlds, which is kind of the group of planets that forms the Pathfinder setting, is sort of cool, I guess. For lack of a better term. It's a very interesting place
This
to be.
sounds so cool.
Yeah. So there are, for those of you who aren't familiar with...
You mean temperature-wise?
No, cool like an interesting place. I don't know.
It's actually a visitable
Wait,
location.
that's actually
Like,
how you chose to say
so
it?
many things were going through my head, and I was just like,
I love
that
it.
spoils a little
That sounds
bit.
like
That spoils a little
kinda
bit.
cool. I don't know if you know this one's kind of cool.
Kind of cool. Okay, let me
argue that.
Let's take a step back. If you're not familiar with the kind of like world lore of Starfinder or Pathfinder, because they're sort of interchangeable in places, Saren Ray is a deity, and Saren Ray is very close to the sun, just kind of like the way that worshipping Saren Ray works. And so followers of Saren Ray, when space travel became a thing that was like just kind of generally accessible, discovered these kind of like inhabitable places that were just floating near the sun that they could go to, and as they got to them, they were kind of like drawn into them and protected from the energy of the sun that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to withstand by this thing they don't yet understand. And so that is a place that exists, and like that is a thing people know about, especially if you worship Saren Ray. And so this is kind of like an important part of the campaign. This campaign is going to revolve around the sun, Dawn of Flame, the sun's involved.
Just like the Earth.
Because the sun is hot, is not cool.
I'm swishing.
All over the place.
The sun is interesting.
The sun is also interesting.
The campaign's revolving around the sun, and so does the Earth.
Whoa, whoa.
That was the swishes. I was swishing little Earths. They're like basketballs.
Also, I guess we might want to address this just in case there's like some sort of misunderstanding. The Earth and all of the Pact World planets are spheres. They're not flat in this setting. Just in case that needs to be clarified. Just in case.
I don't know.
So actually, there's another thing that should kind of get explained about Starfinder is the planet Galarian, which is where, basically what we would call Earth, no longer exists. It disappeared.
Oh, it's like it's not on here.
No,
You'll notice.
It actually disappeared, and there's about 200 years of time in which no one
knows why.
Yes,
I do remember this.
And the planet was then replaced by some means with an actual like space what is it called?
Station.
It's like
a orbital platformer.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it the Absalon station?
Yes.
I was gonna say maybe I was just really reading all the
That's where I'm
names
from.
wrong.
I'm from Absalon.
That's basically what Galarian has turned into. It is now a space station,
Which is really interesting, and I think that's going to be a huge part of these campaigns moving forward. These like campaign modules moving forward is kind of like figuring out what happened, or maybe there will be one of them that's dedicated to like. But I really want to know. First of all, I want to know what happens or what happened. Second of all, I want to know if right now the people that write these things know like this is the thing that happened and we're working up to it slowly, or if they're just like, hey, let's put this like corkscrew in there and then just forget about it until we figure out something cool to explain
It's a
it.
mystery box.
I mean, they did kind of leave a lot of it up to GM discretion because I did a little reading on the gap and what it, because they said it's not consistent throughout the entire galaxy. So there are some gaps that stop at like 300 years.
Yeah.
There's some that stop at 290. There's some that stop at 310. So there's certain areas where you can access more areas of that history.
But I want to know why.
But then we also remember we talked to Owen, and Owen had mentioned, hey, like when they were talking about Dawn of Flame, and when we even talked about Attack of the Swarm, where they're like, we have hinted at this like major force that existed out there. What kind of like writers would we be if we didn't do anything with it?
That was just about the Swarm in general.
Yeah.
And maybe those two plot lines tie together. But we are sort of going on a bit of a tangent.
Yeah.
So let's hop back into
The thing that we need to know.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's happened 2 days in a row now. But the thing we need to note, I should say, is there's been a discrepancy here. We've said that they are spheres. I just feel like I need to point out that the Earth is an oblong spheroid.
Oblique.
Sorry.
Oblique?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Not oblong.
None of us are.
Is it an oblique spheroid? Wow.
Can I be
Just
from
roast me.
Bethesda?
Just roast me.
You didn't watch that video from H Bomber enough.
Oh, I didn't. I really didn't. I need to go back and take another look.
None of us
Well, I guess I'm a
are
flat earther
scientists.
now.
We're going to use
yourself.
silly vocabulary. I'm also speaking for you.
Well, don't.
You just told me how to play your character.
Not me. So I didn't have time to work on myself and be who I'm meant to be, the scientist.
Hey, speaking of who you want to be, we kind of have a brief overview of...
I want to be the very best.
we have a brief overview of all the characters,
Segue.
but we don't have kind of details about who you are, and I kind of want to get a little bit of that from you guys because it would just help me specifically. The players at the beginning of this campaign do know each other, like as a part of the plot, and so that's just kind of something we're railroaded into. So I don't think that any of this is necessarily going to spoil any like secrets you want to keep from each other. It super doesn't have to. I just want to know like personality traits. I want to know like things you don't like, things you do like any specific beliefs that you have that may be a little.
Why are you looking at me?
A little bit strange.
Well, and technically, while they do railroad us that we're all on a ship here, it doesn't necessarily railroad our relationships. Like someone could literally have hired the rest of the group to just transport
There has to be a
there.
reason that you're all there, but I mean,
it's not
you
like
don't
we're
have
all
to be
mercs.
like
it's
you're
not,
all cousins. Like, that's not how it works.
So it's not
best
forcing
friends.
us that. It's not forcing that.
I know. I
relationship.
personally would love it if like we're just a crew. Like,
I'm cool with that. I just didn't want to like force everyone to like think that we had to be a crew. Like it's literally just that we're on a ship that we have, or some of us have.
Indigo's saying he doesn't remember anything about.
I said up to the first.
Oh,
encounter.
you did say that.
Yeah.
My bad. My bad. 100% my bad.
Well, okay. So since you're very much staring,
I am staring at you. Yeah.
Okay. So Gray is a mechanic. I focus on computers and engineering very, very particularly. Kind of like the backstory behind my character is Greys don't actually have a planet in which they come from. So I was born and raised on a ship, and that ship was going around from different planets to different planets, abducting different species and poking and prodding them. And then eventually I kind of wanted to figure out what, instead of just what the physical aspect of each creature was, I wanted to figure out more socially what they were like. So I actually snuck away when we released a captive back, and I actually snuck onto a planet. And I think we'll use that as kind of like the segue for the thing you want to do.
Okay.
Sorry. So
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying.
We'll get to that in a second. We're going to do like a character building exercise together, but we're not there yet.
And so
then we're gonna build our characters.
Yeah. Some of us. So the interesting thing about my character is I don't believe in magic, even though it is an actual like objective thing within the world. I think that magic is just misunderstood science and technology within the world, and that while some people perceive it as they have this magical ability, it's just things we don't get.
Which I think is super interesting.
Oh snap! I want to be right
That's
on
how
board with you.
You already have a character sheet, right?
Yes.
What's your int?
My intellect is an 18.
Yeah, so you're like objectively super smart.
Yes.
And so like you might have like a bit of evidence that makes sense to even people that practice magic. And so I'm really looking forward to a situation where it's like roll persuasion or roll something, and you just like try and like convince someone that magic doesn't exist and that it's just technology and it's a magic user, and you just like turn their world upside down. I think that's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that would be kind of like a fun aspect to the character, because again, before rolling, my computer's is a 14.
Yeah.
Like engineering is an 11.
Do that. I built my character wrong.
No, I had a very, very specific concept that I wanted to go with this character. Like, computers, technology, that's my thing. Even like species and working with people, because with my theme background, I actually get bonuses to like life science and stuff as long as I'm using a computer. Which, as an engineer,
You always have one.
I always have one. So I find species and stuff like that interesting. So I imagine, based off of the group, that individually I have spent time just admiring your social skills.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
No, I was done with the poking and prodding once I left the ship. You know, like,
completely?
yeah.
Like once you start.
No.
Like once you pop, the fun don't stop.
Well, because the thing with it is that it's an excruciating, painful process.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And we just wipe their minds and then release them.
Are you the kind of individual? Are you the kind of individual that like, oh, like I don't want this to. I don't want to harm the people that we're studying. I want to more like study their.
Well,
are you just like, oh, I'm done with this. This is boring now because I know so much about their physiology.
I just find I think it's more like I understand that exists and that it's probably extremely important for them to use as a means of science.
Okay.
But I'm much more interested in the social aspect of different species existing.
Okay.
It's kind of like the difference between someone that's willing to like experiment on mice and like drug them up versus someone that is interested in like watching how like they interact in different situations.
Okay.
I
What-
did.
That you forgot what you said.
Experiment
On mice, and I looked right at him, and he's like, "What?"
I'm like, what? And then I was, I mean, so
What's your alignment also?
My alignment is neutral good.
Gotcha.
I'm neutral good. I do not have a home world. I do have a deity that I do believe in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is a deity technology?
Well, there is a technology deity that is a robot. And they're the ones that actually created the rifts. They actually created their own plane of existence, and every time you go through a rift, you're actually going into their plane of existence.
Deep thought.
And then going out.
Does your character believe that like deities are just like wielders of hyper advanced technology, or do you believe in deities as like a religious?
Well, my deity specifically, the only one that I believe in, is a giant robot.
Okay. Oh, that's also.
That's the only one that.
I thought you were just saying this exists, not like, oh, this is also my deity. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
don't ask me half the questions you're asking.
I asked him his alignment and to talk about his character. That's it.
Okay,
He's-
wait. Based on those two, don't ask me half of it.
Okay, I'm gonna skip the alignment one then, I guess. Do you think you're ready to?
I think
chat
I
a
can
little
tie
bit?
into that. Yeah.
Cool.
So my character is a Lashunta. It's born on one of the major pack worlds called Castrovel. So they're kind of a stereotypical science fiction race. They're very technologically advanced, socially progressive, things of that nature. So my character was very average. So he went to school, grew up, and then I'm thinking that when your ship
So
leads
this
the
isn't.
captive.
I just want to know about your character individually.
Oh, just my character.
Yeah.
The
We haven't gotten to the
Oh,
storytelling.
okay. So my character is a witch warper.
Okay.
And so I think I'm going to play that off as my character doesn't really understand their power.
Okay.
And so Lashunta are born, they get access to 2 cantrips just automatically because they're telepathic.
Yeah.
So they get basically telekinesis and like a daze.
Okay.
So
So do the Gray.
Right.
Yes. So we both have
You
that.
have days?
So-
You both have days?
yeah.
I can do it once per day.
You actually can't talk. You have to use the telekinesis, right? Whereas you.
I can do either.
Yeah.
But so I was going to say that my character was kind of getting along in life, doing well in school, on track for, say, like a scientific advisor position for the government, something like that.
Okay.
And then during some kind of interview on a ship with a high-ranking official, something causes my character to snap, and one of the witch warper abilities is infinite worlds, so I get to shift some of the material around the area.
To something from another plane of existence.
Right. So I'm thinking I shifted like a room or something on the ship, and it caused it to vent and pull out the
Oh no.
official.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah.
That's
so
not good.
now
You know
I'm
that,
just
right?
kind of. I know it's not. It's very not
That's-
good.
Have you told
kills.
this to your captain?
Well, this is before I ever met my captain.
It's
But no, I haven't told you this.
I mean, you're not going far from your Doctor Strange.
I was gonna say,
I kind of want to, if you're willing to say, or if you have an idea that you're willing to share, I kind of want to know what made you snap. Like, was it like the stress of what was happening, or was it like the captain was asking you to do something that was maybe immoral or like
So
outside
I
of your comfort zone?
I think my character is going to have a couple extra neuroses.
Okay.
So he's going to have a stutter. So he's
Okay.
going to rely primarily on his telepathy. Doesn't like to talk out loud.
Okay. Does the general population of worlds find that like annoying, or like Is that something that's negative for your character? Or do you think people react more to it like, oh, okay, you're a person that doesn't speak. Gotcha.
Well, I have an 18 charisma.
Okay, fair enough.
So I feel like that would help play that off.
Maybe.
So, and then, so what I'm thinking is my character has an 18 charisma, but only has a 14 intelligence. So compared to the rest of the population, yes, it's more intelligent, but is not as intelligent as, say,
Sure.
Jake's character. Klaxar.
Sorry.
So I'm thinking during the process of like the interviews for the position, he just felt overwhelmed by like a sense of almost imposter syndrome, not feeling smart enough to be there.
Okay.
And caused him to have a panic attack.
Okay, I get it. You think, like, you feel that you yourself have been faking it until you make it.
Essentially.
Sort of thing. I get it. That's nifty. I like that a lot. What's your alignment? If you
Neutral good.
Neutral good.
Hey, what was your character's name again?
Soren.
Soren.
Soryn.
I should also write down names. I'm so bad with character names.
Who's next? Or are we still over on Soren?
Are you Gucci?
Oh,
Do you have
that's
anything else?
So I was thinking eventually that led me to be at the beginning of the adventure on the ship with the rest of these people because I'm kind of on the run.
Yeah.
No, and I was assuming that I was presumed dead.
Oh, okay.
in that
Oh,
accident.
okay. That's important.
Oh, it's really an outlaw.
A little bit.
It's kind of, yeah.
That's hot.
So Zan, Elder Zan, came from a military family.
Do you prefer Elder Zan or Zan?
Captain Zan for you all. Elder Zan
What
is,
about Elder Captain Zan?
Captain Elder
Captain
Zan would be the most correct at this point in his life. Captain Elder Zan. Elder Zan.
Kez?
Is that with a Z?
No.
C-E-Z?
I, as
Captain
a GM,
Elder Zan.
I, as a GM, wrote down Elder Zan, and then I was like, I don't need that. Your name is Zan.
No. Yeah, no, I mean...
You're going to
I
have to
don't
remind
that. That's
every
fine.
NPC.
No, and that's fine. Well, here's the thing. Maybe not, because I'm an icon. That's the, like, background.
Yeah, blow it out.
So people
your
do know.
butt.
Whoa, buddy.
It's my frickin' turn, okay? Let me talk about my frickin' forearm character.
No, I was just talking to Krug because, like,
And I
I
sure
was,
me to
I
blow
was
it on my
backing you
butt.
up. I was
Oh,
going,
thank you. I'm so
I was
sorry.
being a hype.
I'm sorry I yelled at you for
You're a
hyping me.
hype man.
Susanna's
What's an icon? Tell us what an icon is.
Icon is celebrity, I guess, basically.
So people do inherently know you.
Yes,
Okay.
as Elder Zan. So Zan, young Zan, was from a military family. Maybe even like fought in some battles when he was like really young. But somehow that I haven't quite figured
2,
out yet.
3.
Yeah, like a couple. Maybe 4. We'll say 1 for each hand.
Okay, sure.
But at a pretty young age, Zan discovered the powers of magic. He is a mystic, which, as the Game Gorgons say, is a space cleric. And very quickly, being the egotist that he is, he used that to make a name for himself and make a ton of money for himself.
Nice.
Basically, as like a touring, like miracle worker slash like I'm kind of thinking like pulling a little bit from like Zap Brannigan, Zaphod Beeblebrox, that shitty dude from Harry Potter with the scarf in the second one.
Oh, the
Lockhart, and then and then
I was like, these. I
yeah.
was like, these two will know that.
and then Malcolm McDowell and
Like
Yes
the one
Man.
with the scarf.
Okay.
There's a
So
few
like
of them.
miracle worker, kind of like bordering on potentially cult leader, but like basically has used his powers and his secrets to just make a ton of money, no matter who it hurts. So he's like, he will go and like fill a stadium with people if he can, and like pull people up on stage and like read their minds and make a huge show out of like doing either making them feel better momentarily
Sure.
or like predicting their thoughts and stuff. I think the further that got into it, he got like some disciples and stuff who started kind of taking on his methods, I guess, which meant less money has been coming in for him,
Okay.
leading him to go and try to find a crew who will do missions for him to make him money.
Gotcha. So you created this like empire that you intended to be funneling money to yourself, but people have kind of been like ripping it off almost.
I mean,
and like creating little spin-off like things.
Probably,
but
yeah.
they're doing it.
Operation
It seems like they're doing it in your name.
Exactly, yeah.
But
it is the Elder
it's an overall
Zan.
net loss to yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Which isn't cool.
No, you don't.
Operation costs. It
yeah.
costs money for
Exactly.
people to be there and work for it.
For sure. He also has a family to feed, so
Oh,
he's
okay.
got a husband back
He, him?
home. Yes,
He, him?
he. Got a husband back home with some kids. 4, 1 for each hand.
I hope
That's gonna be the joke.
I was gonna say, I hope that's your slogan for the
Yeah.
whole session. Like, how many potions do you want? 4, 1 for each hand. Like you always. That's funny. I like that.
So,
And
Yeah,
how many
that's
crew
basically his
members do
thing.
you have?
how many fingers you say?
How many crew members?
How many
do
crew
you have?
members? What are they for?
It's 4. It's 1 for each hand.
Yeah, that's Elder Zan.
That's good times.
Terrifying.
We all greet the captain at the same time every morning. We just walk out and
He high
high-five
fives.
all.
What's
Which
your
works because there's 2 short people and 2
Chaotic evil.
Normal size people.
He's evil.
Wow, okay.
I actually
High
think
five.
Elder Zan is evil. Between neutral and chaotic. He I mean, there's definitely like
I'm gonna
he
write
doesn't-
chaotic evil.
Write chaotic evil.
I'll
We'll see
probably
how it
move
plays.
you to neutral evil.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna be chaotic.
I don't think I'll be that chaotic, but yeah, I mean, he very much is someone who like
You're also-
manipulates people for his own good and does not think twice about that, despite
Sure.
being technically empathetic.
Yes. Also, enjoy figuring out how these good and chaotic or good and evil characters play in the same party. It's actually,
Yeah.
it's actually not that hard. It's
It's
legit
not.
not that hard. Like you just either care about people or you don't care about people. And as the GM, whenever you want somebody to care about something, you just put money in front of it. It's super easy, and then the whole party can just whoop. I want to save the person. I want the money the GM's offering me.
Well,
Ta-da.
and we're both neutral.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, as
So-
far as the law is concerned, yeah. It's.
As long as you're not murdering.
I don't think it's any harder with lawful good and chaotic evil.
Yeah.
From a GM's perspective, it's just like
Yeah.
there needs to be 2 reasons to pursue things: one for morality and one
Depends
for
on how
rewards.
chaotic they play.
And how lawful they play.
Yeah, if you have murder hobos, then you can't do anything. They're gonna murder
Yeah.
hobo. Whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean, Zan would never kill anybody. That would not be good for
But
his
these
image.
players aren't murder hobo players.
Sorry, Elder Zan.
It's less of a, I guess, GM like thing in this situation, and more of like a my players are cool thing. In
Yeah,
this
we're like the
situation.
sun.
Enough.
Hey, Katie, why don't you talk so that William stops?
That will not stop them.
Okay, so I'm Morgan. I am an android. I'm technically the 3rd of my type of an android, but I haven't researched too much, so I don't actually know what that means.
Fair
but
enough.
I'm making it up as I go.
But you're not an old version, I guess is something that we
Did
can
you
say.
say?
Version.
Virgin.
I heard. Don't worry. I heard what everyone else heard
I
too.
heard it too. I heard it too.
I was like,
So quick dirty rundown of androids. They're effectively immortal. They have nanites throughout their body.
yeah.
So, but they're inhabited by souls. And so every 100 years or so, most androids go in and voluntarily allow their soul to cycle out, to allow a new soul to cycle in to experience life. And so I suppose at that point, so you're like the 3rd soul in this body, but every time they go back, they get upgrades to the body or something? That's what I'm assuming. But I know the
Okay.
soul thing is...
Yeah, because they have slowly improved models.
And
like-
that's
yeah.
the one thing I wanted to address is that I'm not the newest model. I'm probably like
Okay.
a generation or 2
Okay.
behind because I don't want to be like the.
So you're like a little bit squeaky, maybe.
I wouldn't say
or
squeaky,
I guess
but
the-
definitely the understanding people's emotions is generally not probably as good as the latest ones.
Okay.
So
Your empathy chip is broken.
Sorry, I don't think I got. What's the character's name?
Morgan, Morrigan, 3 eyes.
So that's interesting because that's like the opposite of like I don't know how many people have watched Dragon Ball Z, but like Android 16 was actually super empathetic, but was an earlier model, and Android 17 and 18 were, but they were designed to.
Yeah, it depends on the goals.
that
right?
makes
Yeah,
sense because
they were
also
designed to murder. Yes.
in Bicentennial Man, they originally with Robin Williams' character, they're like, oh, he's showing too much emotion, and then the later on ones they made them less human because it freaked people out.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Uncanny Valley.
How did you learn how to make this horse?
Oh yeah,
How did you do
it's
this?
a good movie.
Sorry, did
is a
I hear
good
you say
movie.
that Morgan has 3 eyes in it? It's like Morriiiga.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you mean the 3rd at
Yeah.
the end?
Yeah.
When everybody started looking at me like I was stupid, my brain was like,
We're like,
"Hey,
Krug's
Krug, you know
got
what makes
30
more
years.
sense?"
I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
one
not,
for each player.
I'm like, I'm not
No.
drawing that.
Wait a minute.
I was like, that's way too much effort for this. I'm not drawing a 3rd eye.
Then you'd have to get different sunglasses.
I know.
What about your character's class?
Class would be that I'm an technomancer.
Yes. And
Yes,
so
okay.
you were talking a little bit before the stream started about how like psychic powers work in the context of an android. Do you think
That's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Is because we've got Gray who only speaks telepathically, and then we have our cult leader here. I had kind of wanted to play a little bit of, not so much opposition, but just not understanding and his charisma or whatever to get me to kind of do what he wants to benefit him doesn't really work. So I was just wondering, is there a way, like, well, one, do androids have telepathy? And two, if they do they have the ability to kind of put up a firewall when they want?
it's I mean that's addressing the firewall thing first. It's less of like, if you're not willing to receive a communication, I think it's fair to say that you don't, right?
To look at limited telepathy again, but yeah, that's probably right.
And if it's not in the book that way, I don't see any harm.
It's
just like,
effective. It makes a mention under limited telepathy that talking to multiple people with telepathy at the same time is just as difficult as talking to multiple people at the same time out loud.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know really what that implies about telepathy. Maybe it's more of just picking up on like.
sounds like it's not
telepathic-
difficult at all.
Right. So
It sounds like it happens all the time.
It sounds like we're doing it right now.
Yeah, because like I'm
I
talking.
think I meant like all at once.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Like,
Oh,
like
like
having two
saying
conversations
one
at
thing to
once.
you and saying one thing to you.
If they reply at the same time, you're going to hear them both.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. I understand. I was like, what do you mean talk? Because you said talking.
Hey.
It's like I'm now talking to 5 people.
Right.
So like,
I think
don't
it's
understand.
meant to imply
I get
everyone's
it. Yeah,
speaking at
right,
once.
Right. Okay.
So I guess my question is, do I have the ability to process it slower? That way I could figure out talking to both of them at the same time? Like have one in, like, I don't know, because I'm technically a machine.
I mean, you'll be able to differentiate our thoughts.
Yeah. It's not
Oh,
gonna
no,
like.
just more of like, I could process it both at the same time and somehow I can't answer at the same time, but I could process both of them because I'm not human.
Yeah, I think that's something that every character would have. Like I can listen to 2 people. I mean, if 1,000 people are communicating to you telepathically at the same time, no.
No.
But like if like 3 people from the group are saying something to you, maybe you can like discern 2, and then like one of them you just like kind of tune out until you finish this conversation, and then you go back to the person who you ignored. Just kind of like when you're having a conversation, right? Okay. As for whether or not you have telepathy, I don't know. Like, I don't think the species gets it inherently, right?
Well, I mean, they did
Like
in
no
Westworld.
telepathy. Androids don't get telepathy, but you can be spoken
Well, I
to
guess I
with
could
telepathy.
actually talk to other androids kind of telepathically, like they did in Westworld. Would make sense.
It's
I mean, I don't think that's part of the race.
like telepathy specifically is
I'm just trying to figure it out.
is like a feature that you can take like from the mechanics of the game. Like,
And there
it's-
are some classes that will have
there are some
spells.
classes and species that will
Telepathic message, is that kind of the same thing? The 0 level spell?
kind of yeah.
so, yeah.
I think
That's all I can do.
It differs a little bit because yours aren't a spell. Yours are
No,
like
it's
spell-like
just-
abilities
yeah.
sort of things. So that is like has a casting time and a duration and like specific constraints because it's spelled. Yours is literally just the only way you can speak. So it doesn't have a casting time. It doesn't have a duration. It's so if you you want to have telepathy just to resist.
Well, no, I technically don't want telepathy because I don't think I would fully understand. Like, or
So you
else
don't
it's one that's like, I don't have.
you don't have to have telepathy to
Yeah.
communicate telepathically with someone that has telepathy.
It's basically like someone's calling you and you have a phone, but you can't call out. You can only receive. But when you receive the call, you can still talk to them. Does that make sense? Like
I
It's like
kind of had this
message
with
in
my
D&D.
last phone. My last phone, I dropped it.
It's like message
so-
in D&D.
it's exactly like message
Yeah.
in D&D.
Yeah, you can
it's-
reply, but you can't initiate another conversation
Yeah.
afterwards.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly like my last broke ass phone. Literally, it was
So-
like a live pager.
So you're going to retroactively name your broke ass phone Morgan?
the second.
Yeah. Poor little toothless phone at home.
Also, what is your character's alignment or
I'm neutral,
neutral?
just
Straight neutral.
true neutral.
She, her.
She, her. And I left my world because I wanted to learn more about other species, and I wanted to originally kind of just help out other species that have been either enslaved or prejudiced against like the how do you pronounce
It's kind of like
Yosoki?
oppressed.
Yosoki. The Yosoki, yeah, or the one that we don't have in here.
Humans.
Not humans.
Yeah,
They're
we don't have a
assholes.
human.
Sheeran.
I don't like humans
Ed
because they're
Sheeran?
assholes. No, it's the
Vest?
Sheeran. Yeah, the Sheerans
Oh.
are the ones that I get along with best, but there's nobody in here, so I've somehow come across in my travels you.
Hey, we're back.
Hey.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened to our audio. It broke. But hopefully it's better now. I guess we'll wait a little bit and see. I'm gonna bother everybody on the stream real
Oh
quick.
shit! I gotta.
Well, we know.
They nailed it. This
right,
was supposed to happen.
All right, I'm trying to.
That was
Yeah,
a
chat
test.
says all good.
Chat only. Apply.
That was a test that we did on
Chat.
purpose. Don't make fun of us.
Where were we?
We were talking about Katie's character.
Yeah, I was trying to
3.
figure out. Yeah, Morgan 3, which to be more human-esque, I have changed it to Morgan the 3rd.
Gotcha.
I am not the latest model of androids out there, so it's a little bit more difficult for me to understand. Guess it's not human emotion because we have no
Just
human
emotions.
Emotions in general.
Emotion in general, yeah.
Yeah,
Biological things. Emotions.
people that aren't computers.
Yeah. You also said that you left your world to learn more about other species, and that, but you also said there was some kind of like philanthropic reason as well.
Yeah, I wanted to learn about other species, and because of my own, I guess, people's histories, the fact that we were brought up as one property is kind of a property, and then eventually enslavement because they didn't
Okay.
believe that
That
you
makes
know,
sense.
that we had souls.
I was kind of thinking to myself, I don't understand how a neutral character dedicates themselves to like, oh, I'm going to go help other species and do this. But it's just because you really hate people being treated as property because that's
Yeah.
where you came from. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so I don't think I'm going out of my way to go help. I just want to go learn and find out maybe there's just a way, like, the people that I encounter. I'm
Sure.
very much, I care about me, but I'm very loyal to the people that I have found, and so I'd like to create other relations to further my horizons of understanding
Okay.
from all species.
Dig it.
so.
And you said you were true neutral.
I might guess lean on the side of good, but
That's fine.
usually, you know.
And
We'll figure it out as we play.
Everybody dips in and out of alignment.
I just know for sure, run away to live to fight another day is always going to be my motto,
Oh, sure.
regardless of whatever character.
We
I
have
play.
an unbroadcasted Monday session, and that was Indigo's, and yours actually, both of yours. Both
What?
of your
We
philosophies.
refuse to die.
Oh, I don't.
during one
Yeah.
encounter,
I
we had
will-
7 players, and 5 of them, including
Oh, you're-
myself, died. And these 2 were just like, I'ma leave.
I will.
Which was very smart.
I will say, Klaxar is more of a die on my feet than survive on my knees kind of a person.
I get that. I feel like a lot of characters would be that. Anyways, your character also doesn't understand emotions very well, and so you have kind of found somebody to be your translator. Let's talk about that person now.
Someone named Boom Clap is
Boom
your
Clap.
emotional translator.
Yeah, so I mean that's just like the Isoki naming
Convention?
convention. They're named generally after like sounds or like onomatopoeia and that kind of stuff.
That's hilarious.
Onomatopoeia is so much fun.
Yeah, so Boom Clap. Yeah, Boom Clap. He's
Isn't that a song?
It is.
yeah,
Okay, is it on purpose?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's his theme. It's going to
Can
come
we,
out every time. Cue it
Are
up.
you hearing that?
So he's a pilot. He's old. He's like I'm playing a very old. I'm playing like Master Splinter, like old, like from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I know who Master, but how old is Master Splinter?
Well, old enough to have a beard and be gray.
You have a beard.
have gray hair. But I mean, like Master Splinter's like got that walking stick and he talks all old and stuff. And
So you're like 80, 90?
I mean, I would say
I think your age, like within your species, is a little bit shorter.
Yeah,
I would think
shorter
that's true,
lifespan.
yeah.
I'm trying
But
to find that.
Yeah, I thought
I don't know
it
off the top of my
talked
head
about
at
it
all.
on mine.
Yeah,
What year?
essentially, like if we were comparing it to like probably a human lifespan. I think I'd be like 65.
Okay, so you're not like about to die.
No, I'm not about to die. Yeah,
But you're up there.
But yeah, so basically, I've lived a lot of life. I've gone around a lot of places because I decided because from a very young age, Boomclap wanted to explore, so that's why he became a pilot, so that he could leave where he was from and go around. It's not that he doesn't like where he's from. He's just like, like we're very small and we live much shorter than a lot of other species around here. So I'm gonna explore as much as I can of our galaxy and see how things are, so that I have a better understanding of how other people live and see if I can do some dope stuff.
So you're kind of like, I don't want to put the negative connotation on it, but you're kind of midlife crisising, sort of. But you're like trying to go through your bucket list, maybe, or is that like too specific?
I think Boomclap has been doing this since like teen.
Oh, okay.
I would say like the three of us, Morgan, Boomclap, and myself, all kind of have very similar like aspects for like why they're traveling in general. I want to understand society. She wants to understand emotion and prevent people from being slavery and exploring. You're just trying to see as much as you possibly can. Like, I think the three of us probably have a very like unified reason for travel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
And that's how we end. Like that was how we all end up here.
Yeah. So basically, and then as far as like personality is concerned, Boomclap is, like actually sort of the opposite of a lot of Yusoki. Like not very, just like running gunning. Like not just spontaneous or anything. He takes his time. I think when he was younger, he didn't. And I think just through sheer age and experience, Boomclap is just like, something happens, let's take a moment to think about it, and let's maybe like calculate the best move.
So you're wise. You're the kind of wise that comes from having zero wisdom when you were younger.
Oh yeah. I'm the kind of wise that comes from making every single mistake.
Yeah, you're not like
so you can like kind of figure it out.
You're not like studying the old famous philosophers. You're like, no, I did that. Don't do that. Do this instead. It's great.
Oh yeah, like, and also I want, if you're okay with this, I want like a scar across like one eye. Yeah. So I only have one eye. I'm a one-eyed pilot, which you can do.
Mm-hmm. Oh sure.
And I could have done that makeup for you.
Well, I'm not in character this week.
Okay.
I'm not in character this week.
I'm part.
Indigo's just stressed. That's what's up with this.
But then also,
this weekend.
Oh shit!
If it's like without a mechanical advantage or anything, can I have a robot arm?
Yeah.
Cool.
If you just,
I asked for 2 arms and you said no.
I said if you wanted to work something out, we could.
I know.
I said that specifically.
I was just being
in the
shitty.
thing.
I'm sorry.
That and you're not gaining anything from it.
Yeah.
Like,
And that was going to be the caveat.
I know.
Is that it's either going to be a hindrance or it's going to give you nothing.
He gets to high five the whole crew at once.
I already have 4.
He has.
I have 4.
4 arms.
I just wanted 6.
He wanted 6.
Not me. Don't look at me.
She's like looking for the like.
Yeah.
What is this? That probably looked weird on stream.
That probably looked super weird on screen.
This is why I'm an android.
Okay, so you want a robot arm.
Robot arm.
That comes from like, is this kind of like evidence that you've done some stuff?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like the eye, like the
same
eye
side?
gouge. Oh yeah, same side, same accident. Yeah.
So you have a super normal prosthetic that like just basically functions like a normal arm.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any slots for any kind of upgrades or anything like that. Is that something that your character wants?
No.
Picture storage?
Nope.
Seems useful.
Yeah, Boomclap doesn't see any need for like is very sparse. Like doesn't hang on to things, even things that maybe he should hang on to. He's just like, I could probably travel with less.
Yeah,
like that kind of
just
thing.
basically what you can put in your cheeks.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm a chipmunk now, or like gopher.
Cheek pouches and
Oh, that's right. I do have cheek pouches. That's right. I do remember that. That's like
I'm not being specious.
I know. I have cheek pouches.
Cheek pouches,
Which
Moxie,
arm?
and Scrounger.
Left.
I wonder.
Left arm.
What's your alignment?
I think I am neutral good.
3 neutral goods, true neutral, and
With a
chaotic
chaotic evil captain.
Let's do neutral evil, I think. Well, I think there's leaning towards chaotic because
I just want to know how we ended up with him.
To be fair, to be fair, I wasn't trying to get you to change. I was pointing out the funny.
I just like I think my inclination towards chaos was there doesn't really care to be within the law to do his things. Although the more I think about it, it probably would be beneficial to. So neutral evil makes more sense, honestly. But we'll see.
I mean, when it comes to like law and stuff like that, you can portray neutral as you follow the law when it benefits you.
Exactly, and I think that's what it is.
Versus chaotic, which is
and I'll be chaotic when I need to as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I tend towards just whatever is going to be good.
The power of neutrality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of how we ended up with a neutral evil captain now, let's talk about how you guys know each other just kind of on a general level. We're going to be doing an exercise later where you guys are going to kind of form relationships with each other individually, but as a group, why are you all together? Let's start with this. How long have you all known each other?
I think
Jake probably has a better idea than we do.
Well, I think like based on what we've already been discussing, we know each other the longest. Like I know you longer than I know the rest of the crew, and then Indigo second. Mm-hmm. So for or Klaxar. Mm-hmm. So if we could figure out that timeline, if you knew us first before those two, then that, or if you knew them first. So
okay, how's this? Because I'm assuming you're the one with the ship.
Yeah.
Okay,
that makes sense.
So how's this? Just throwing this out here. So just say yay, nay, or whatever.
Or woo.
Yeah, or woo. Yeah. What we can say is in the process of me trying to, maybe the planet in which I landed and then ran off on was the planet you guys were currently at. You guys can kind of figure out how you guys grew amongst each other, and then you guys may be like the first friendly people I came across, because Greys aren't the most common, and when they are referred to in like lore and whatnot, they're very much just like they are on Earth here in real life, which is they
Revenge of the Body Snatcher.
We're afraid. What are they going to do to us?
Yeah, exactly. Like they're a mysterious race, right? So because you probably don't understand emotion, and you're just like, cool. What are you? You know what I mean? And
please tell me about yourself.
Yeah, and me, I'm like, ooh, what are you? And then how we could have kind of gotten together and like, cool, you're here to explore, I'm here to explore, we're all here to explore, let's explore. And then maybe you're having issues with your ship, and I see an opportunity of like, hey, I'll repair your ship for free if you take me and my friends on as transport.
Yeah, because you got a mechanic and an engineer right here.
Yeah, both of us are engineers
we're useful to him.
And this is how. So I think that
maybe you crashed it because you're not a good pilot.
Are you?
I think I'm a fine pilot. I don't think I like flying, so probably he if he crashed, which I'm cool saying, it was because he was distracted because he got bored.
Sure. Or like you fell asleep at the wheel, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, not even asleep, just
he
like
was totally playing Galactica.
or just like daydreaming about how great I am,
I was thinking that like, so whatever planet you ended up on after you like got yourself free of whatever, I think that one of my bouts of wisdom is like I trusted somebody, like I lent them my ship.
Oh.
And they just didn't come back. So, like, I think I had a ship because I was using it to go place to place. So then, like, I think I have been stuck here longer than I have lived anywhere in my life.
Making me itch.
Like, I've been moving, like, so much. And then I just been, like, stuck there. I was like, oh, my God. And, like, because I'm, like, I for so long, I was like, oh, I don't need this. I'm just not going to keep it. I have no money. So, like, I'm just like, well, I'm stuck here. And, like, just doing, like, odd jobs. And, like,
wrong decisions.
And that kind of thing. Like, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's, like, wisdom through mistakes. Like, wisdom through experience.
I love that.
So I think I, like, super just stuck myself on this planet. And then you ended up coming around.
Which we got to figure out what planet that is.
Yeah. Well, didn't we decide we were going to be from the one that replaced...
the Absalon?
The
station. Which is the only not a planet.
Literally
a concept.
That would make sense for me.
Well, yeah. I mean,
there's a planet that
you're from Avalon.
Well, I was trying to read where my planet is from, it says
All the
Gal.
planets are in the back of the book.
What?
But you're from Abalon.
That's
one of the
just
closest to the
image.
sun.
Yeah.
I like images.
Yeah, images are really where we need to be here.
Yeah. Androids come from there is an android planet.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to find.
I think we could have ended up on Absalom.
Yeah. I mean, and there's the most amount of diverse. There's the most diverse amount of species on that planet. So it would also make sense why we would try to abduct people from that location.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was stranded there. I think I was there for a while, and then you came along, and I don't know if you necessarily would be interested in me, but I don't think that I've seen a lot of androids. So that would be cool. And
Definitely just a learning experience of friendship of well, that's new.
Yeah, definitely. And also I think I delight in being able to be helpful for someone, especially if I'm stuck.
Yeah.
So I'm just oh gosh,
something to do.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Gives you some purpose.
Seeing you interact with someone, and it's you're taking them very literally, maybe, and I'm just oh wait, hold on.
I don't think they mean what you think that they mean.
We don't like.
So does that work for you, ship wise?
Well, yeah. So I kind of what I like. What I kind of want to put into that is that you were here, I'll fix up your ship, but you take us on. And what you didn't know is I was just at the point of desperately trying to find a crew that I could take with me to do missions and make me money.
Yeah.
So it's very much I think Elder Zan made a point to make it seem like he was doing it doing a favor to you.
Sure.
But it was very much oh, this is perfect. This is what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he's ever really let on. I mean, you've definitely figured out at this point more where he's coming from.
Sure.
But yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
it was sort of a lucky fate.
Yeah, because Klaxar is definitely going to be someone who is very similar to Boomclap, where they don't want to stay in one place too long for a couple of reasons. One, I don't know how the people in which I left are going to take the fact that I left, because I'm probably one of the first and or only people that have just been deuces and bailed. And two, I don't want to stay in one place because there's so much more out there to explore. If I've seen a location, great, I'm done. What's next?
It's interesting that you both are technically playing characters that people might be looking for. Mm-hmm. Because Soren and Klaxar, you're saying they might not be adamantly looking for you,
Mm-hmm.
but you definitely.
Oh yeah, they never found my body, so.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. If an opportunity comes up, I'm going to feel obligated to do something with it.
So I feel with how they all met, I think kind of what happened was I ended up on Absalom Station, kind of just on my running from whoever I think is after me. I've been there for maybe 2 or 3 months and then realized, oh shit, I should probably move again. And I would say maybe that's when Zan, after the crash.
Elder Zan.
He's getting used to it.
The conditioning has begun.
Yeah.
You can just say Captain Zan. That's probably.
But I feel like you maybe not to put out a posting, but put out rumors that you're looking for some kind of, I don't know, science or medical officer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Because that's my skills. I have an 8 medicine, 8 life science.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And
I figure I'd take up that posting and then just kind of go along because I want to get the fuck off this station.
Yeah.
Whether or not Elder Zan, you were, it's possible that when the three of us were okay, we're a crew for this captain, we definitely need a science officer. We would, I feel like we would know that very well because you worked with an entire society that, and that was moving from location to location doing stuff. And I've been a pilot for 40 years. I don't know. So.
Yeah, because it's I've been on a ship and I've traveled, and you've traveled on a ship quite a bit as well. And it's if we're not on a single piloted vehicle or piloted ship, we're cool. We have a captain, great. We've got engineers, great. We've got a pilot, great. Okay, we need someone to deal with the other stuff.
Because Zan does nothing except for talk when he has to.
I'm sorry, Elder Zan.
I can call myself Zan.
Elder Zan just wants to take care of Elder Zan.
Yes, exactly. So literally anything you
And
did with
even
the
at
ship,
that,
you stopped doing
he wants
once y'all
someone
wrong.
else to take care of
Exactly.
Elder Zan.
Right.
Yeah. So.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're an operative, right?
Yes.
I just told someone in chat you're an operative, and then I was like, if I was wrong, this is gonna be awkward.
Well, even if I'm not,
Operative.
we'll all forget by next week.
I hope you
Here.
don't.
Yeah, really.
Write it down.
I wrote
No.
it down too. Okay. I like all
We
of
have,
that.
we have
Oh,
operative, technomancer, mystic, witch warper, engineer.
Like how it took you the
Mechanic.
longest to come up with your own
And I did it
class,
wrong.
and you got it
Yep.
wrong. And did you see the comment on our YouTube video about?
Yep.
And they were like, "Hey, you said the wrong thing," and I just replied in all caps, like, "Yeah, we do that constantly. I'm sorry."
Engineer mechanic is always going to get swapped in my
Proof.
brain.
Well, I apologize.
So are you? Wait, we're both engineers, right?
So, no. Okay, so mechanic is my
your
class.
class, okay.
Engineer would be our role on a ship.
Okay.
It's not necessarily something like because technically
It's fluid.
Yeah, it's fluid. You and I could actually go and help the science officer. You and I could go and run the guns. The things that we can't really do is we can't. There's only one captain and there's only one pilot. So like those are the only single spot positions. But you and I,
We're very interchangeable in what we can do. Like
Exactly.
me being an android, I just need
Interchangeable,
to be
and
programmed.
you can like. There's an infinite number of available like position or seats
what
for that position. I mean, up to the capacity of the ship, right?
Yeah.
Every non-captain, non-pilot on the ship can be an engineer or could be doing the engineering role at the same time. It just depends on what you need.
But to more specifically answer your original question,
Yes.
I think we've known each other for. We knew each other before knowing you for like maybe 2 months. Then you came along. We knew each other for like maybe a month longer. Then we ran into Elder Zan, after which you popped in. So I personally think that we may have all, like, from point of becoming a crew, we've maybe been doing this for maybe 9 months to a year.
You have neighbors?
What?
I don't know.
That's
It's
new.
creepy.
I'm gonna go figure out what that was.
Okay.
Cool.
That was actually terrifying.
Yeah, flip that.
What?
That's never happened before.
Somebody in chat says, and now we watch them all die.
Thanks, chat.
Anyway, but I will say, so I think 9 months to a year, or however time works in this game.
It's Earth Standard Time.
Oh, okay. So 9 months to a year because you are evil, and I think any longer than that, and we may be like having a lot more like contentious discussions or arguments or like stuff behind the captain's back that perhaps
I want to know.
Lock somebody in.
I don't know.
that perhaps would be. Oh, just lock the door.
All right, lock that one too.
Was there nobody outside?
No, there was someone outside.
Oh, okay.
I talked to them.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
Just someone looking for a bike. And it was weird. And very, very much looking over the fence and trying to figure out what was in our yard.
Oh, cool. Well,
Lovely.
let's continue
Terrain.
playing role-playing
Fake terrain.
games.
Okay, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they thought you stole it.
Sure.
I think Captain Zan stole the bike, honestly.
Anyway, yeah.
You're
so
gonna get us all killed.
does within like under a year, but like a sort of extended period of time makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally fine. It's it can't affect anything inside. Like, you're not going to have more money because you've been doing it for a year, right?
Yeah, I know.
I think you're right that like it shouldn't be a super long time because I think if I'm playing a character who is evil with a neutral to good group, like being able to play that and like possibly have those conversations on stream and possibly shift all of your alignment towards evil would be, I think, a good window to open up for us.
Yeah. I like that idea a bunch. Anybody else have anything they want
if
to add
everyone's cool with that.
I'm good.
or change?
Yeah.
Yeah, so while you were gone, we decided your character gets just pushed out of the ship.
Just airlocked down.
You're obsolete.
Yeah.
That didn't That didn't happen.
Oh, I'm glad
already know that.
you told the
You were here.
audience.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because
you were here the whole
Because they
time.
were here.
Yeah, you
No,
didn't
they
go a
left
minute
at the
ago.
same time. They went to check on.
Indigo
who's
took all 3 cameras and the microphones on his shoulders.
I mean, I kind of wish there was a camera.
Can we get a wireless setup somehow and just like take a
For
camera?
the weird shit that goes on outside of stream.
Did you say somehow? That's just like streaming with your phone.
Yeah, there's a lot of easy ways to do that now.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I like all of that. So now that we know a lot about your characters, we know a lot about how you guys met. We know a lot about like how you guys got together. We want to talk
I
about.
remember that tapping pattern for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stop.
I'm terrified.
All right.
We want to get to know.
I'm seriously weirded out though.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hey,
I want to
I-
play a horror game now. Like, I'm in the mood for it.
I know you have to live here, but we all have to leave.
It was a person on a bike. Asked.
No way! That's some pertinent information, hombre. Come on.
So okay,
He has
so
a friend somewhere.
just to get out of like just a little bit of what happened. Person on a white bicycle came up to me and said, "Is Elizabeth here or something?" I couldn't. It was broken English, and I think it was Elizabeth. And I said, "Elizabeth," and he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "No," and I was like, "Who is that?" You know, like. And while they were asking me, they were leaning over the fence and looking around in the yard, right out in the front. And after they were looking around the front, I said, "Who is that?" And they're like, "A white bike." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "No, I don't have a white bike." And he goes,
Name
"What about a
Elizabeth.
black one?" And I was like,
Wow.
"No."
wow.
And then they left.
Cool.
Fun.
That's cool.
Not at all disconcerting.
You know that
Do you know what's worse about it? Is they could literally be on the other side
yeah,
of that
listening.
window right now, listening to everything that we say.
Yeah.
So leave.
That recording that's played sometimes on like YouTube and Twitch, where it's like recorded binaurally or whatever that word is, and you can like tell that it's coming from a direction. When you did that just now,
Oh, yeah?
it like freaked me out.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Because it felt so
yeah.
much like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's
hop back
let's
into
go to a different space.
Let's hop back
How about
into a
space?
game.
Let's
Yeah,
go have
wow.
some wacky space
Remember when
adventures.
we were having fun?
Yeah, like I'm still having fun.
I'm having fun still.
Someone said they want to take our spots when we die.
Okay, wait. Which one of us do you want to be? And it's okay to say boom clap because I know it's the best character.
Actually, it was Adrian, and they said, "Looks like I've got 3 new spots on because the 3 of us play on a campaign on
Yep.
Monday."
Oh,
That's hilarious.
Thanks, Adrian.
Okay,
We'll do it.
so
Yeah, we'll take your spot.
the next thing
Wait,
we're
are we
going
done
to.
too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
You're trying to run this thing.
No, it's cool, man. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna
sorry. Go ahead.
we're gonna tell stories about the characters themselves. So now we know about like who they are as people. We know how they met one another. We want to figure out what makes them special, what makes them strong, what makes them unique. And to do this, we're going to pull a chapter from the book of Fate Core, which is a really interesting character creation / session 0 tool that you can use to kind of like put some structure to that. And so the way it's going to work is that each of you is going to tell a short story about something your character did that is interesting. It doesn't have to be like beginning, middle, end, climax. You don't have to like structure it the same way you structure a story. Like really short, really succinct, because we're going to do it 3 times.
Well, then not only that, it's got to be within the time in which we've known each other. Like we've kind of limited ourselves.
It doesn't necessarily you could have bumped into each other before that without realizing it or something.
And then
to
talk
that
about it
effect.
later and been like, oh,
You can
were that.
you can
person.
expand on what we've already talked about.
Maybe I saw the Isoki and the android in the 2 or 3 months I was living on the station
Yeah,
before
because it's a very
I
weird combination
actually
because
met.
most of the androids.
It's
don't
just
appreciate.
we have very limited.
You've been doing it for a year. It could also have been one of the missions you went on.
Yeah, that's
that
what I'm
year.
saying is like I think it
But
makes
it's not-
most sense if it's within that because if we're on Galarian, right?
For the Absalon station.
The Absalon station, thank you.
Yeah.
If we're on Absalon, you're without a ship, I'm without a ship. So literally only things because my story literally starts there.
Sure.
I mean, I'm saying it can have happened like while you were still probing people. It doesn't have to be within recent history. It can
Yeah,
be
but
pretty
then
far back.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying like my story would be I probed one of them, and I don't want that.
That's fine. That's totally fine. I'm just saying it's an option for everybody.
Maybe this was your first moment of not probing someone.
It's fair.
Like you had you had boom clap unconscious.
No, because that would because that would make it too weird for me.
Yeah.
Like relationship wise, knowing that piece of information, because we would have. Well, one, I the way I imagine my characters, I wasn't the one that was directly probing people. I was just like within the room, like either notating or doing whatever.
The voyeur.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. So you would have gotten probed by someone else. So
and you would have just watched.
Yeah.
Are we talking about my real life?
So after each of them comes up with some kind of short story that shows why their character is cool, they're each going to pass their story to one person to the right. So your story is going to go there, and your story is going to go there. That pointing didn't make sense to anybody on
That's
stream.
all right.
I just realized. And then that new person is going to add something to the story. Either that's how they helped in the story, or that's how they hindered the original writer in the story. Something that also shows how the new writer is unique or cool without stepping on the original writer's toes. And then we're going to pass it one more time, repeat, and then we'll be done.
Okay, so I think I have my story. I was looking for my bike, and I
while being on a bike.
while on a bike, I did a little tap-aroo, as you do.
Right.
Okay, no, I don't have my story yet, but I can come up with one on the spot if you want.
You're gonna have. I can't. I got nothing.
I sort of have. I have one.
Go ahead.
I think I can
Go
find
on,
it.
okay.
You don't have to
I've got
start
one
on one
too.
of the two ends of the table.
So I mentioned that Elder Zan's big thing before becoming a captain was doing basically like stadium. What would you even call it? Like miracle working.
Televangelism?
Televangelism kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
Billy Graham.
And I don't know what planet this would be on, but it was some planet where like most of the people share a language and like pretty much just that language. And I got to the part, or Zan got to the part, Elder Zan got to the part of his whole thing where he brings up people from the audience to talk to them, help them with the issues they're having, and see if he can get some money from them. But the person who was brought up by a family who had taken this person in, and no one on this planet shared a language with that individual. For whatever reason, maybe it's because it was a species that's not native to the planet and no one knew it. Mm-hmm. And so this family had been with the person for a while, but didn't really know how to communicate with them or what they needed. And Zan, who knows the spell detect languages or share language or whatever, touched this person on the head and was silent for a few moments and then began to speak to them, wowing the crowd, and through this interaction found that the person that they were then speaking to and reading the mind of was actually a noble from their planet, and through doing this made a powerful ally with this one.
Got it.
Leading to something.
You had this great opportunity to take this contact and make him into a resource,
right?
And so that's kind of what you've done. So maybe what's one thing that contact has helped you with?
It got me gigs on that planet. I think maybe actually I was probably flying my ship at that time, so probably Zan flew that person to the planet, and then sort of held them for ransom without making it seem like that. Basically extorted the original family for the return of the person, while making that seem as much like a favor as possible. It's for the fuel money, and for the time spent caring for them. Also, probably told the family that he was the one who found this person, and took care of them the entire time. Didn't mention that there was a very good-hearted family who originally had him.
Yeah, you're definitely living up to that big E right next to your name. Cool. Does anybody else have a
story
Mine's not
that
super...
connects with that one, or
no, just your own individual one?
I don't have a very super detailed, but I believe the first planet I decided to go to was where the Shirans are from, because they were another race that was very close in their history of being enslaved, that I thought that was maybe another good place to learn about another species. And from there, they told me a good way to really learn about emotion is to see how different races interact with each other. So instead of just going to a planet that has a very few other different types of species on the planet to go to the Epsilon station because that's where almost all the races, the packed world?
Packed worlds?
Yeah, the packed world.
They like congregate.
Yeah, so it's a very densely populated area with all types of people. That would be a good way to learn about others, and that's when I believe I probably ran into you where you got scammed. And I very much I relate well to machines and animals, and I judge people based on how well they treat machines and animals. And I saw how people were treating my poor friend here and decided to talk to him to see if there's anything I could possibly do for him, because it felt like it was very not being treated well and can understand that. So that's how we came across each other, probably in a bar. I'm okay with that.
That's a pretty standard thing, the bar. I like the bar.
I think it was at an ice cream shop.
Why not?
That's right. The milk. Right.
Why not? Dippin' Dots is ice cream of the future. So,
It's all Dippin'
90s.
hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah. Not a spawn.
Anybody else?
I got a cool story.
Yeah.
How you lost your arm?
Yeah.
Well, no, it has to be a thing that's cool. Well, that could
That
be
could be cool.
So here's the deal. I landed on this planet, and
You're talking about Epsilon stations?
No,
Oh, okay.
I landed on a planet, and it had a volcano erupting, or like some kind of like a natural disaster that was like legit gonna wipe out like a section of the population, and so I, having my ship, spent like we knew with a lot of like a good amount of time, like about a week, because it like had started like the scientists were like, oh no, this is gonna erupt, there's no way we're gonna get away in time, the blast radius is gonna be this, everybody start saying goodbye to your families. And I just happened to be there. I was like, oh no, I have a ship, it's pretty small, I can probably fit like 3 more people in the cockpit at once, but you know what, let's start moving you to the other side of the planet like right now. So over the course of a week, non-stop boom clap just was like flying back and forth with the ship, taking as many people as possible. And I think like the thing that happened was boom clap went up until like the eruption of this volcano. Like it is erupting, he's made it to the other side of the planet, and like the people were like, oh, you've done so much, like thank you so much, like you have to stay here now though, because if you go back you're gonna die. And boom clap was like, well, there's still like 2 families over there, and I know I can't get both of them, but like I gotta try something. So so I think he goes back, and like he gets there as the volcano is erupting, like loads on both families even though it's gonna weigh down the ship, and like starts zooming away as like ash and like lava and exploded out, like sections of boulders and stuff are like blasting off of this mountain, this volcano side, and it's coming toward it, like it like takes out like a wing of the ship, and because I'm like picturing this as almost like a slightly larger like X-wing or something,
Sure.
that kind of thing. So I'm like, we're way down, it seems like we're not gonna make it, and so like I kick the thing into autopilot, and I eject myself and let the family go.
Oh.
Oh, so you didn't.
Oh, and that's
leave
how you
your
like
ship.
lost your ship.
Yeah.
I dig that. That's nifty.
Oh,
But
okay.
but
Then you would have to have gotten to the station.
Yeah, I think that was the closest like medical area. So like they ended up like calling someone to like, I mean they probably found me unconscious, like, and like I had a boulder from the volcano had like fallen and like just completely crushed my arm, and like some like shrapnel from the mountainside as well, and like that kind of thing like scarred my face, and I think I permanently have like a section of like fur just like burned off, like with a little bit of scarring as well. But I was like, I had just made it to the like the lava, like if it was a movie it would have gone like and then like stopped like right as
and then
it
the
was,
eagles came and
or someone came and picked me up. I don't know, but yeah. So like that's that. I think that's
okay. I dig that. That's
my
nifty.
story now.
Klaxar and Soren still. If you have anything.
You have one?
I mean, I have something that I could theoretically use that would relate to yours. Is that something that we want to do now, or should I come up with my own?
Do you have something for yourself?
I think I have my own.
Okay.
Although I think it's gonna be the same old cliche since he doesn't understand or control his powers, except this time it happened in the middle of like a crowded market.
Okay.
So he's on the street and something triggers another panic attack or causes him to kind of freak out and, kind of react defensively. Mm-hmm. And so he does this and he causes 2 of the shop fronts from opposite sides of the street to swap places.
Okay.
As well as, except it's a little off the ground. So for the split second that it swaps, it's a different dimension. So we'll say it's from the gap.
Okay.
It's from a dimension where the gap never happened.
Sure.
And so it's got some kind of quick flash of information that apparently shouldn't exist or doesn't exist, and then it's gone. But it was enough to get the attention of whoever.
And that's kind of okay. I dig that. And then did that lead to a problem for you?
That probably led to. I'm trying to think. Because I want it to. I want it to have affected the people, but it can't have affected the people
It killed
drastic. Right. It can't do that.
It could have traumatized the people that witnessed this, depending what the.
Well, I'm thinking it either traumatized them or the people that were affected were shifted out of reality with the storefronts, and now these people have brief memories of another reality.
Maybe. I mean, I'm down for that, even knowing that that's not the mechanic.
Right.
The mechanic is that you're shifting the terrain and that the biology is different of sentient beings.
But that comes with me learning how to control it.
Yeah, maybe that was just a quirk of you not understanding what you were doing.
Exactly.
And the more you learned to control it, the less you became able to do some of the weird
it's like mental
over
blocks.
the top things.
It's like Jean Grey and mental block.
The fact that you can now
Professor
control
Xavier
it means that it doesn't affect sentient things. Actually, well, I mean, you obviously later levels you can. Anyways, we don't have to talk about the mechanics of your class at length. We have videos on QueueTimes.com if you want to watch.
Please watch them.
Yeah, I like that. Cool.
I just want you to know, Soren, I am fully supportive of you becoming the Phoenix.
You're
We've
true
already done
caller.
the Marvel.
I'm just saying we'll make a better
Sure.
movie than
Well,
Phoenix.
take a weekend. I'll grab my camera. We would make a better movie.
All right.
Okay, so I've got an idea. It's nowhere heroic or interesting, but I think I like it. Being a part of being on the ship and traveling and seeing a lot of different species has allowed me to actually be within the galaxies at very important times. Like here on Earth, there's the what is the lights over Alaska? What is that called?
Aurora Borealis.
The Borealis,
Northern Lights.
the Northern Lights, where there's special times a year where different things happen.
Sure.
I being on the ship and traveling. I've gotten to see these once in a lifetime and or seasonal events across the galaxy, and it's just something that not a lot of people get to see, and it's just something very interesting. Sure. And the reason I was saying it could theoretically be aligned with a boom clap is a volcano erupting is definitely one of those.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I could have theoretically
maybe-
been observing this the entire, not necessarily you, but my ship could have been out of range observing the
Maybe yours
natural
is,
disaster that is
a more open-ended thing. Maybe you don't your character's goal, and this is just an idea. Maybe your character's goal wasn't to be cool or to do interesting things. You're literally just observing.
Yeah.
And so you don't maybe even have a cool story, but you've maybe seen all of theirs, and you have these fleeting memories of oh yeah, I remember that one time the XYZ and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I and that's kind of why for my character, because I want my character to be not societally removed because I had my own society and
Sure.
how we worked and how we communicated.
But your whole society.
Yeah, exactly. I'm away from them.
Yeah.
And my main experiences, other than like the year that we've been together, has literally just been with this other society.
Okay.
So that's why I kind of like, I think mine might not.
Yeah, no, I super get that. And I
Yeah.
super like it, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and it doesn't even have to be all of theirs. Like, you can just, like, they wouldn't have had any control over whether or not you saw them, because I'm assuming that the way that the gray work is that they're, unless they're actively abducting someone, they're, like, cloaked and, like, far away using sensors and, like, getting data like that.
Think Doctor Who, where
Yeah,
Doctor Who's like,
the silence?
Yeah,
that
no,
one?
no. I mean, just the fact that they're like, cool, this thing is going to happen at this year at this time. Let's go travel through time,
Oh, I
be
see what you're
there,
saying.
watch it happen because it's interesting and it's like something that we can get readings on and,
Yeah.
and learn more, and then go like, cool,
just bounce.
next thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think it's more like that, along that lines, where it's just like, cool, these like really, there's like, we've discovered that there's like this weird thing going on this planet that's like 10 galaxies over. We fly out there, watch it happen, watch the planet implode on itself, you know, whatever it may be, and be like, oh, this was definitely a good learning experience. Let's go abduct more people.
I like that a lot. That's actually super unique. I super dig that. Let me write that down. So who's have you observed? Whose little vignette?
I definitely think Boom Clap, and I was not aware of your existence there. And like, if anything, it was like watching
An ant carry like a leaf.
it's exactly like you. I have
in the grand scheme of things,
yeah.
it's so like a
I have,
pixel.
in the grand scheme of things, I have disattached your existence from like my understanding of knowledge. Like, ants do a thing because they do a thing. It's not necessarily that they have free will or that they like understand it. So I like, and this is kind of like, this could theoretically be the thing that, not this specific thing, but like the drive to want to understand more of like, why do ants do this? Why do species like try to save themselves? Like, but like on the day-to-day continue to stare at their phones all day. Like, if this is your life, if you die or if you survive, it doesn't matter, right? So why is it when you're in danger, you feel like you have to survive to just continue to do this? And so it's like, I definitely was probably observing, but unaware of your existence and or your individuality or your actions in which you've taken.
Yeah.
I dig that a lot. All right, so now that we have one... Actually, Katie, I want to revisit your story really quick, if you don't mind.
Okay. I'll
So,
try to give you answers.
so it's... you said that you went to a planet specifically to, like, study something. Is there something specific that's, like, interesting or unique that you learned, or maybe, like, something that
I just want
happened
to
to
see
you?
how other people other than androids, how they relate to each other.
Yeah, but like, so the goal of the story is to tell a story about your character.
Okay.
And like something that either you've overcome or that you've accomplished. So we can use that as like the foundational element of the story
So
for
I've
sure.
already had to do something by this point.
Something, yeah, anything. It
Yeah,
doesn't-
that's kind of like the problem I was having is because I want my character to be like unexperienced within the world, so it's hard for my character
Yeah,
to like...
I don't feel
is that-
like I don't have much experience, and that's why I'm going out.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, I've lived on my home planet, whatever my supposed. It's not on the map. It's not there.
I'm pretty sure it's like one of the closer ones to the sun.
It's Avalon.
Avalon, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, they're saying it was something else, but all right. Wow. All right, but apparently it's not bad that I'm tan then, right?
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I don't.
Yeah, it's just I've lived there this whole entire time, and it just seemed like there's only so much learning you could learn from people that are similar to you, and so I just wanted to.
So this is literally like you're sort of infant to the galaxy. You don't
I would
have.
say maybe.
But emotionally, definitely.
Toddler.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could probably insert myself into that story if we're at that point.
Giggity.
That's between.
Don't! Let me just say things.
Because her face said it.
That's true. She thought it.
I listen. I
The
could
telepaths heard it.
add to that story my character.
That's between the two of you.
That's what we're doing, right? That's
Yeah.
the idea. Okay, so we were saying it was on Avalon. So I think at some point early into your like wanting to understand other people and like maybe wanting to understand like emotions in society and stuff.
I apparently respect your race very much because of your self-sufficiency.
Which like Elder Zan knows that people tend to respect what he is and takes advantage of that. And I think that other than his big presentation things, which I haven't really chosen a name for, what like not a show, but like, what do you call that?
Yeah.
He also will do like
A scam.
Yeah, his scam.
His muscle.
I think session is what I'm with so far as what he calls it.
Okay.
But, so he does his sessions, but he also does like office hour type things where he'll like go into a city and just like set up somewhere, and people can come pay like 1,000 credits to meet with him for like 30 minutes to an hour.
I see where this is going.
And I think we had a meeting at some point, and he just told you like tons of things that were and were not true to like satisfy your craving for information, and like told you things that like
It was
this
like
is how people work, this is how people feel, this is everything.
I'm not sure my personality would pay to find out that information if it's something I could obtain free by talking to other people.
Sure.
Like, I don't understand this need to pay someone to learn something you could learn out in the real world, which is ironically how I actually feel about sororities and fraternities. You're paying for your own fucking connections.
But wouldn't it be funny if you didn't even like, you didn't care? Like, if you didn't realize that it would make him that upset if you just like went, sat down, spoke, and then walked out before you paid him?
I have a better idea. I think that not to say
feel like
It is something you haven't really experienced before. Like you don't like. What is this person doing? What are they talking about? You don't. Would you have a concept of what a scam is?
I don't know if I would know a concept of a scan. I think it's more.
you wouldn't pay for something you could get for free.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
literally,
because
like
you get
I
this
don't.
for free. Because this is like you're like a celebrity like mystic that does like literally you are known for doing things that no one else can do. So
But that might not interest you either. If
If
that
you're a
doesn't,
standalone entity, like you're the outlier, I don't think I have much interest in you because you're not
for sure.
common.
So here's what I think then. One of the things that Elder Zan does sometimes when he's set up for his office hours is he will go, after he's done, to like just like talk with people just out in the streets and like at the bars and stuff and give like little tastes of free things, and every single time it gets them to either come to one of his sessions or one of his office hours.
Okay.
So I think I say every time with an exception of you, where like he sat with you and like told you some things for free, knowing you were interested, trying to really get you in on it, and then was like, oh, if you want more, I do an hour for 1,000 credits, and like you're the first person to turn him down.
Yeah. You were just like, nah.
Stood up and left because I don't understand salutation.
I love that. That's great.
I like that. Okay,
That's
yeah, because I
hilarious.
don't think like if it's something I could learn on my own, I wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah.
So
You thought this like you didn't get the vibe that he was being like trying to get money out of you, and then he said it, and you were like, oh.
you're like, oh, you want me to pay for this?
Right.
I dig that. I dig that a bunch.
Okay.
I dig
Yeah,
that a bunch.
I'm down for that.
Let's talk about. Wait.
Are you trying to figure out where the
Yeah. I guess it goes this way.
So I and William work together.
Yeah, we
William, you had your story by yourself so far. You haven't. We haven't
it
really.
doesn't really matter, does it? Like, does
No.
anybody want to insert themselves into anybody else's?
Anyone gonna make a face about that
Story.
one? Huh? Anyone gonna make a face? Huh?
Yeah.
You wanna do that?
I already did. I'm sorry. I
No,
can't
it's okay.
help it.
I'm not actually upset.
Story.
Just stop using the word insert.
What about
during-
probe? Does probe work?
For space aliens.
During the hacking video, for the Starfinder hacking video on the QueueTimes channel, I used the word penetrate because that's the proper term for.
Insertion?
Nope.
Hacking.
For
Hacking.
yeah. For
We're in.
a certain.
I had another story I wanted to include myself in, but that's just because Elder Zan's an egotist
fine.
and I want to be in everything. Can I do
I
that? Is
don't
that
mind.
listening?
Depends on
He
the other
wants his
person.
hands on everything.
Yeah, I mean I have 4 of them, so I
He
have
wants
1
to
stories.
insert everywhere.
Yep.
It's yours.
Okay.
I think part of like some of the families that stayed latest. Did you end up getting all the families off, right, or just most of them?
I think I
Get off of that side of the planet. Okay, that one we can all laugh at. That one, I get it. Listen, I don't know what's going on with me. I'm trying to play a character with 4 arms and a long head, and I've never done that before, and it's really overwhelming. Look at this D20; it's big and made of wood. So, did you save all the families, or was it just most of them?
I think that the last 2 families that I sent off like on autopilot with my ship, I don't know what happened to them.
Okay. But were those the last families?
Those are the last 2.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So before you got all of them, I just kind of like the idea that like a number of the last few families. So Elder Zan had a show scheduled for the Doomsday, and had shown up like a week before to do office hours and stuff. And I think there were a lot of families that like were planning to stay for that. And Elder Zan did not believe that, like, or at least said he didn't believe that the apocalypse was going to happen or that the volcano was going to go. And, like, told people, like, no, it's going to be fine. Stay. Come to my session. It's going to be great. Up until, like, the day before when he just left. Because then it was clear that it was actually going to happen.
Wow. And you're my captain now.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, that's the only thing is, like, we would have either talked about that or not talked about that.
Or do you even know about it?
Or do you know?
Yeah, I think I knew that you were in town. I think I know about you because I was like, I had made a decision. I had made a decision with my character because I've been around a lot and I go from place to place, and I think like I run into your name a lot.
Sure.
Because a lot of planets know you and have had you there. I was planning on actually being like kind of interested in like sort of a fan.
Okay.
So I think if you're okay with this, because I don't necessarily like the feeling of like Boom Clap necessarily like even thinking of like heroism or anything like that in relation to himself. When he ejected himself out of the cockpit and hit the ground, like he doesn't remember anything on that planet.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's nifty.
So like
interesting.
So
and I wouldn't have any reason to know.
So really,
care.
You're
right.
You'd be the only one to know.
So
well,
this is like
he kind of knows. Like you have a chance of maybe knowing. Like maybe you have access to like a recording of it, but there's no reason for you to have.
Elder Zan would have picked up on all the people talking about being saved from this volcano by Isoki. And then realizing who it was, and then twisting it to saying you saved everybody.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Because I also had a ship. Also, I probably saved 2 people, and by saved, I mean I brought them back to the other planet and made people pay me to give them back. But
Coyote.
Yeah?
I think I like think about us like meeting again like on Absalom or whatever it's called. Like you going like, oh, I know this person who needs like a pilot, like come with me, we're gonna like kind of like sell ourselves as a group.
Yeah.
And like the
first,
we
know we want to get out of here.
Yeah.
We're like, well, look, hey, I found a thing.
We got this. So like the first meeting is like you two have like talked, and then like the first meeting is you like step off your ship and I'm there, and like it's like if it was like a TV show or something, it would be very much like a close up on your face, and then a close up of Boom Clap just like looking at you, and then Boom Clap's just like, hey. I'm Boom Clap. Like
you're like,
yeah.
Does he know?
Right, because Elder Zan definitely remembers that the Boom Clap the Yosoki who people said saved him. Yeah. I like that.
Just that situation where like, oh, hello, Boom Clap.
My next question
nice to meet you for the first time.
The saving of this planet. How many people were there like Boom Clap that were helping them escape, and were any
Wasn't it
of
just
them?
Boom Clap?
I think just Boom Clap.
Just Boom Clap. So then it would
wasn't
have been something that I think you probably would have noticed because he's the only one doing it. Besides,
I probably would. I probably wouldn't have paid close enough attention to like your species or whatever. But like, I wonder why that one ship keeps going back and forth.
That's what I think. Yeah,
that's the ant thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this ant is going like grabbing small
Just this
seeds.
one-
and just going back and forth.
Why is this one ant continuously picking up other ants and taking like that one's strange.
Yeah,
for sure.
So there was some notice of it,
Sure.
not so much of like this is just a thing that happened.
Yeah.
I dig that.
So
So we've got 3 people on the exploding volcano planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which then, I mean, like, yeah, and I went from the volcano planet to like Absalom, like, and I think genuinely, it makes the most sense if like, because Absalom seems more like Utopia-like, or like at least it has more technology.
I don't know the story behind it.
Well,
no one knows why it
Floating
exists.
in the orbit formerly occupied
but
with
I don't know how
Valerian.
advanced
Absalom
it is
Station
compared to
is
the rest
primary
of the
home
galaxy or
of
the solar
humanity
system.
and
I know
undisputed
Avalon
growth in
is the
space.
most advanced.
right, yeah.
Let's overload his telepathy.
If this
right
was,
now.
yeah, if this,
What's great about mine is I just don't have to listen. I have to start it.
yeah, I feel like, I mean,
too.
like, it was just the most nearby, and since it is like a space station, pretty much, that is like a planet itself, but like a space station. I would assume it has like enough technology to be like, there could be like a med bay, like.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
This is like how this works. It's very much like kind of like Star Wars-esque in the sense that it's like it's multiple floors. It's this.
It's like Death Star size.
Yeah.
Death
If
Star
not
size
bigger.
or like Star Killer base size.
Star Killer.
Closer to Star Killer, probably.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be
Well,
a
it says right here
replacement.
5 miles.
Oh, only 5
5
miles?
mile diameter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's way smaller than I thought it was.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh wow, yeah, that's small.
Yeah, that's not horribly. big.
I'm gonna go run that right now. Like that's tiny. I'm very fast and strong.
I mean, I can't run that.
5
have
miles.
4 arms.
Oh, I can. I forgot that I could do that.
But it's very much like there are like deep-seated like areas. It's like there's shady locations. There's also full med bays. I believe the Pathfinder Society also works off of there.
Oh, cool.
Stuff like that. Like
I think you can assume a lot about that location. I think it's
so-
pretty like a pretty like homogenous representation
It's like
of
a
everything
hub.
that's available.
Yeah, so I get airlifted to Absalom. They take me out of network, so I have to pay it off. And, you know, I'm washing dishes.
it's definitely not like a utopia. You know what I mean?
I'm at more of like more advanced. Than,
Yeah.
Than probably a planet that has to deal with a volcano.
There's definitely
True.
no volcano.
I had a quick question about Elder Zan. I want to know what distracted you to crash your ship into Absalom.
Oh god, I forgot I set that up. He was on the phone. He was chatting while
Playing
driving.
Snake.
One thing about Elder Zan, I mentioned that he has a husband and family. He also does sleep with many people while on the space.
So-
and so I think he was maintaining one of those relationships, having a very, very heavy conversation, and it caused him to lose focus and crash.
Wait,
into-
So I
were you on
had
the phone
I
with
had
him?
a slight idea.
Okay.
So let's say you're like on a video call with this
Sure.
person. That's why you're distracted.
yes, yes.
You're very trying to focus on this and flying the ship at the same time. And whoever you're on the phone with is also on the station. It's someone you're trying to I don't know.
I was hoping to meet up with. You know,
Yeah,
for
you're
drinks
trying
and
to
talk.
schedule a hookup.
Netflix and chill?
But they're on the street,
Oh,
and
Twitch
you
and
see
chill.
see
Twitch and
one of
chill.
those weird like reality shifts that my character does in the background.
Oh, word.
And sees like from the peripheral of that camera, like my character bent over, hand on my head, freaking out while this is happening.
Sure. Yeah.
So-
So definitely then your face will be like burned in my mind. So when I see you to join my crew, I think it's another person that I pretend not to recognize.
I think we need badges.
Badges?
Badges.
Badges, like crew badges.
Oh,
I do want. How many? Do you all have like a lot of pins? Because I have like
I
a
do.
brown jacket and I want to put a lot of pins in for Elder Zan.
I do.
Pins.
Those kinds, not pins.
I thought you
No,
said pins.
pins.
Not pins.
Pins.
I do.
I'm not from
I even have
Texas.
one that's got the Death Star with Jamie
Cool.
Russo, and it says Defiant.
That's so
I
meta.
thought about wearing it.
It's like, what
I was
if
like, that's not
Is
quite
Star
my
Wars a
character.
Wait, this is the Death Star. Well, it sort of is.
what if that was the way they designed the Death Star?
This is Elder Zan's ship. Looks like the
The Darth Star.
But no, yeah, I like that idea a lot.
Okay, so my character dies first.
You have
But yes, I
priority
like
on
that.
the threat table. If all of you are equal targets,
Just don't wear a red shirt.
I pull too much aggro.
yeah. I like that. That's really fun.
Yeah.
That you distract. I also kind of like that you are kind of the linchpin of the group.
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah,
Like,
I
literally,
love
I'm
it.
tied into
I
all
really
of your
like that.
stories now.
But
so
you're
the watcher, but yeah.
Well, he's got 4 hands and everything.
Yep.
except for you, but you're special.
He hasn't
And
inserted
you've definitely
himself yet.
seen things that like Zan has done probably if you've like
Oh, he
watched.
totally
Well, I mean,
does.
if you're going to important events, then I mean,
Then clearly I would have never have seen
My sessions are
Zinger.
famous across the
Oh,
galaxy.
I would love that to actually be true. Imagine how much that would make him mad.
Maybe.
That's a question.
Well,
you
I
ask.
mean, literally, I'm the one that literally brings the group to you.
Right.
Other than him. So theoretically, you and I could have, our interaction is, I watch your ship kind of, like, maybe, I don't think it's bad damage, right?
Right,
It's
right.
probably just like when you were, trying to, like, get attached to the side of the you kind of
You gotta
jiggled
pit
it.
maneuver.
I was like, all right, I'm landing on a planet. Fuck.
Watch out for that curve.
And,
You can't get it to turn over. That's like
watch out for that curb. I'm imagining just like a thing of concrete floating in outer space.
Curbs are so high in this part of the galaxy.
You mean like one of those space stoplights?
Yeah.
And so I see that you've done this, and you're like, oh, I gotta, you're probably mumbling amongst yourself, like, God, I gotta pay for someone to fix this, and I immediately like, this is a way out, and I come up to you and just be like, hey, looks like your pilot screwed up. And then you're like, well, I am the pilot, or however, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you must have
No,
heard
it's
of me.
probably
I'm
like,
Elder
yeah.
Zan. I'm like,
well, it was probably like, yes, they did. They're fired.
Yes, and they've been ejected.
yeah, exactly. And then I'd be like, oh, good. I have a pilot friend that would work out, and I can easily do some repairs.
Not keen on taking anyone on right now, honestly.
Would Elder Zan? I mean, he interacts with a lot of people, but would Elder Zan be disconcerted by the fact that the Gray only speaks telepathically?
I think honestly more intrigued because telepathy is something that Elder Zan does, and like he like has tapped into that through his own means, so he's probably curious about like the innate nature of how it works for you. Yeah, probably like one of the like the closest he's been to being impressed by somebody else.
Sure. And I imagine that there's probably an interaction where you're like, well, you've clearly heard of me, I'm Elder Zan, and me going, no, I'm new here.
Well then.
My understanding of like, again, it's a social aspect. Like I understand how to communicate with people. It's just more of like I'm intrigued of like how humans interact with humans and how humans interact with androids and how androids interact with Solarians. Like just like as a whole of how everyone interacts with each other. But it's like I know how to communicate. I've had people. I've had to talk to my boss. You know what I mean? Like, I mean. Probably don't have a very good parent relationship since I was born in a tube. But
right. Not a fan of that tube, huh?
That's why I'm they them. There is no male or female within the.
I mean, you can still have a great parent relationship being born in a tube. I just want to say for any viewers who were born in a tube.
Do you think that's a common thing?
No, but I want to be inclusive.
No. A lot of people.
I think are we not there? I think we're there.
Wait! I'm
think
planning
we're
for
there.
the future.
Oh! So this is.
I'm dipping dots.
This is
right
gonna
now.
be. This is evergreen, right? This is an evergreen content. It means it's good no matter what time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like when like if you go back and you watch someone that's white plate Genghis Khan and you're like, well, that didn't age well.
Right.
This is
I was like, please don't go where I think you're going to go with this. You win.
in 50 years, there's going to be a comment under this. Probably not YouTube anymore, but a comment under this video that says, like if you're watching in 2069. 2069, I said 50 years. Oh, sink another one.
You can add.
I'm sinking oblique spheres all over the place here.
Oh no.
Also,
don't throw your glass.
just saying.
I had to be dramatic. You
had
made
to
me
break
mad.
it.
Anyways, yeah, okay, cool. So that's and our interaction is
Yeah.
you lie to me, and I go, great, don't care, just trying to get the fuck out this planet.
Yep.
I also love the idea because like I do want to kind of be a fan. I want to piggyback off of your intelligence is why you don't believe in magic, and I think the more we interact, I'm like, you know what? I've never really seen like magic work. I'm like, yeah. I think I'm susceptible to other people's ideas.
I'm gonna throw this out there really quick because magic and technology can compete
especially the technomancer who literally combines the two within the world.
Yeah, but I mean even outside of the scope of the player strong things that are as powerful as player characters. I'm talking about stuff like public transportation, like restaurants, like normal mundane parts of the world. Magic and technology can both be used in mundane ways, right? So it's the difference. I think this was either in the book or a part of our Owen interview. I don't remember.
There is a comparison I do remember reading.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it's about, but
it's like the technology side of the industry will use buses, hover large vehicles that fly through the air with engines and stuff like that. And the magic side of the same industry will be a giant magic carpet that does the same thing and goes from point A to point B.
I get that, but I think you've convinced me that is also probably just technology.
Okay, yeah. As long as you're aware that
no, that magic is real and people use it very much.
And you almost certainly would have seen a magical thing. But then even though the conversations you have are well, what about this? And you're well, what about this? And
yeah, it's your ability of moving things around and changing the environment can easily be explained about opening portals to other dimensions. That's science. That's not magic. That's literally
character note. I actually don't believe that my character does magic. He's just unaware of exactly what he's doing because even my cantrips are shit that aren't overtly magical except for the one energy ray thing I took because I need some damage.
Sort of in line with that, Elder Zan knows that he's doing magic, but he does not really let that on. It is a mysticism, but it's he wants the image to be that this is just innate to him. It's just him connecting with people in a really deep way.
Sure.
That only he can. It's not something that other people can do.
The magic has a facade in front of it.
Exactly.
You know that there's a facade there, but other people hopefully don't.
Ideally, yeah. I mean, you would have all probably figured it out by now, but whenever we would talk about technology and magic, he just isn't interested in either. At least wouldn't present that.
I dig it. That's fun.
I'm affecting mostly everyone except for the technomancer who literally has to be no, these are two separate things.
But I'm also an android with a soul, so it's one of those things.
You're we can exist.
Separate but intertwined.
Yeah, exactly. No. It's I get it. It's technology. It's just, we haven't figured out how. That's the aspect of all magic that I can't explain. It's just it's metachlorine in your blood.
Yeah, it's tiny little robots. It's a tiny little robot species.
Jake, I think you may have just moved to the top of the priority.
It's a tiny little robot species that ends up in your blood, and it makes you do things that are technology.
Yeah.
It turns you into a...
Numenera, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that that song from 2008?
That's Numa song.
Ah, yes.
Numa.
I know the dance.
I think we all know the dance.
I don't.
I still got the...
Did you dab?
Numa yay?
I don't think he dabbed. I honestly don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was Numa and the dab.
No, I don't think it's a dab. I think it's literally just this.
I'm pretty sure dab wasn't a thing.
Let us know in the chat if the Numa dance has a dab.
Numa had a dab in it, I'm pretty sure. I don't think so.
I came out the test tube dabbing.
All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to
insert?
Add. Does anybody else have anything else they would like to add to any other stories that we have?
Yes, tiny thing.
Yeah.
I read people's minds and read their thoughts. I at one point read the mind of someone who had been twisted by your whole.
Sorry, can you start over?
Okay.
The laughing got me.
Is it because you said a little thing?
Yes.
That really?
To be fair, I laughed. It's because Katie started laughing.
You said tiny thing.
Oh, tiny
Katie
thing.
off.
Yeah.
No, I think it was little thing.
Okay.
But
A minor edition.
Almost.
A brief edition.
A brief edition.
He's inserting.
Yeah, I think one of the people who I helped and read the mind of, I saw the whatever the effect on them was from that event that you described. I probably didn't know that it was related to you, but that is something that stuck out to me.
You just saw brief horrible screaming and fire in the sky and the station blowing up and
I said you've been healed.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Is that something you can do?
So I can do detect thoughts. That's one of my spells that I can do a few times a day. Okay. So
you're trying to figure out like some like large impact moment in their life, and you saw the thing that you did on accident.
Yes.
And you were like, oh, I wonder what that is, and then you experienced it like yourself.
I think a little bit, yeah.
That's cool.
I'm getting an A. Aaron, Apocalypse.
I actually watched a documentary on how that whole.
Yeah.
It's
Cold reading.
It's terrifyingly
easy.
Yeah.
It's terrifyingly easy.
Yeah. I was gonna say terrifyingly manipulative, but
yeah, it's super manipulative and easy to do if like you just like study a little bit.
Would you say that would be a neutral evil person that would do that?
I mean, I'm going to reserve my right to not comment on the neutral part of that.
Listen, I'm neutral evil. Everything I do is something.
We got confirmation there is no dab.
dabbing and numa.
I know. I was joking. What the fuck?
They looked it up just to make sure.
You looked it up. I knew.
Not us.
I know.
We asked chat.
Thank you for looking it up. I could have been not joking, but I know.
Lying is the way.
Maybe they're a bunch of androids too.
Yes, of course.
They don't get it.
All right. So we still have 30 minutes. So there is a little bit of role play that we could do. You're not going to need your stats. You're not going to need dice.
Oh, thank God, because those don't exist yet.
We don't have time to build a ship.
Okay.
30 minutes is not long enough to build a ship.
Cool.
We can.
Can we name it?
You can absolutely name it if you want to name it.
Excuse me. I'm just kidding.
It is your ship.
You're excused?
No, I'm okay with us naming it as a group.
Did we have any good ideas in the chat? Because we said a ton.
There were a lot.
There were some good ideas.
You know, one of the
have
names
a log of it.
It's so funny. One of the names that you guys threw out for the ship was one of the names I was considering for myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which one?
Morgan too.
Here, I'll scroll through.
It was like Aster, I believe.
Oh, okay.
That was the one I was thinking about.
It was the Zanmobile, but it can change.
I mean, he technically owns the ship, so...
I kind of just liked the QT.
The QT?
The QT, yeah.
But...
All I know is my room is stark white. And there's just blaring white
And you know how
light.
hard that upkeep is?
Very easily.
Okay. Sorry, I just got to the part where I said, let's name it Zan's spaceship and move on with our lives. Car of Zan, the Zanmobile. Zan, but a ship.
I'm sorry. I thought you said you had good ones somewhere.
Dawn, Nova, Aurora, Observer, Strider, Aster, Wow. I don't know if that was a suggestion or reaction.
that was a reaction.
Options, that was a reaction.
All I know is I went away for like a minute, and I came back, and I was like, holy
Jonas
shit.
and I saw the message at the same time. We were sitting in the same room.
It was rapid fire.
And we just...
I think you could hear all the buzzing on my phone on my own stream of just how much you guys were trying to name off this shit.
I
Someone
like
says the
Observer,
inserter.
actually. Oh my god.
There's Zan. So chat says
Zan Jr.
Zan Jr.
Zan Jr. The inserter are some.
Zan Jr.
Combine
like
the
it's your
two. Zan
child.
Jr. the inserter.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, there's technically 2 votes for the inserter.
We did get a caps lock with an exclamation point. The inserter.
It's true.
Zan Jr.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't want to refer to the ship as the inserter.
But we could just
No.
You could say call it TI.
Oh, wait, what were all the other suggestions?
One of the suggestions was Observer, which really fits into what we've been talking about.
Oh, Observer is good.
And sounds really
I'd be
good.
okay with that.
I really like Observer.
It's also the kind of thing that I think Zan would name his ship even before
I think that would
assembling
attract
the crew.
like all 3 of us, or at least 2 of us to your ship.
I mean, someone can just call it the inserter, though.
I like Observer.
We all know the chat's
But
gonna
I
do
will
it
say,
for us.
I will say, chat. Good. That's very funny. But do not force me for 4 more sessions to keep saying the inserter.
It's okay. We got crew here for that.
Actually, you know what? Ship's gonna blow up after the first encounter anyway. So
My ship, don't say so.
I'm just trying to get a read. I'm trying to get you to slip.
Oh wow, that actually worked. I couldn't deadpan. Dang.
Yeah,
The ship doesn't blow up.
I know.
That's not a
I
thing.
saw the look on your face.
Hopefully.
Oh, shut your mouth.
Theoretically,
Or
You know what? I'm going to
William,
push the self-destruct button.
Or am I so good at this that I've been misleading you from the moment that you came up with
You're
the
not
idea?
even Isoki.
Yeah, we're not even
We're
gonna play
finally named the
Starfinder.
damn thing.
We're going to get back next week. We're going to play Paranoia.
Yeah. Surprise! Surprise!
That's gonna screw me up if you do that.
I'm not going to do that.
I won't ever appear on QueueTimes.
I'd have to learn the system first.
I'm gonna the next stream I'm gonna be tapping on the window. Tap. Sorry everyone. Sorry.
I had just forgotten about that too.
I have not.
I
I
haven't.
haven't been able to now.
I just want to see the look on all of our faces when it happens.
Oh yeah, I'm super watching that back.
I'm watching that part
and making that a
so-
GIF so hard.
Pretty sure we all just went.
Yeah, that was weird.
I think I hope one of us spiked the camera.
It's gonna-
I must have. I always do. I've definitely looked at you like 12 times.
I definitely have
All
not
right,
looked
so
at
you
the
said
camera. I
that
keep
there's
forgetting
the
that
part we
it is.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like
We just named the ship. It's the Observer.
The
I love
Observer.
it.
Yeah.
Zan,
I like the
Zan
Observer.
Jr. the Observer.
Oh dear.
Wait, where did...
Hush.
I feel like Elder Zan calls it Zan Jr.
If you want.
We all call it the Observer.
I think
Yeah.
Elder Zan, he calls it Zan Jr., Little Zan, Younger Zan.
Zan
It's like on your head. Like a
Exactly, yeah.
Zamboni,
Zamboni, yeah. Elder Zan has many names for his ship.
Oh, shit,
Everyone
no.
else can only call it the Observer.
Wait, no, you can't call it Zamboni because I decided that Boom Clap it calls
Oh,
you
he would be.
Zamboni.
Oh my god. Fine. No, I love
He
that.
gets so mad every time you probably do.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I as a GM, I think Zan's a
tell him.
wonderful character. As
Thank
a
you.
person, I hate Zan.
No,
We all do.
Yeah, I feel very similarly. I've never played a character that I myself would hate this much,
Yeah.
and I'm very excited for.
I've never even seen anyone
people
play a
like playing
character
villains.
that is so hateable.
So I call you Zamboni. Who wants to call you Zanzmataz?
Stop!
And who wants to call you Zantastic?
Oh, wait. Zantastic.
Just moving the table all over
Wait,
the
sorry,
place.
I'm so sorry.
Elder Zamboni.
Elder Zamboni. Elder Zantastic.
Captain Elder Zamboni.
Captain Zantastic.
Captain
Wait, is that your
Zantastic.
full name?
I like it.
Zamboni?
Zanzibar?
Zanzibar? I don't know. It's Zan.
Xanathar?
Um,
But with a Z?
Xanalana
keep
Ding
guessing.
Dong.
Santalana Ding Dong?
He's so mad.
It's with a Z, chat. It's with a Z.
It's Z-A-N.
Oh, that's Ray!
That's right.
Ray!
Ray's in there. He's the one who said he was the second vote for inserter.
Oh.
Okay,
There are two of you?
Yeah, there's two.
we've
There's
gone too far.
definitely
Okay, have we burned enough time to not do the... No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, kind of, yeah, actually.
we still have 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Let's do it.
Go for it. Don't let us take
Yeah.
over. Go.
Wait, we've... Okay. All right, I'm
Observer.
I'm observing now.
All right. So the mission that you were sent on was to deliver a group of researchers to a research station near the sun. That's what you've been doing.
Here, sorry, I just gotta get in character.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Where's my
actually
my
have to lower
phone
a little
book? My phone book. I'm booth.
Elder
Yeah,
Zan
I'm
is
maybe that
tall,
feller.
by the way.
I am not tall, but he's just
taller
supposed to
than
be
me.
really short, and it's not working.
It's okay. I think we've done good.
Raising the bar.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
So your starship has quarters for these individuals, and they have been kind of like talking to you a bunch. Like they seem like they've missed speaking to other people. Like you are a novelty to them, and so they've just been trying to like, hey, how's it going? Like, tell me about where you're from. Like, how's life? Have you been doing anything interesting recently?
Do you not know who I am?
I'm
species
usually stuck on a station, so not really.
Well, you are so lucky. Today you meet the Elder Zan.
Oh, cool. What do you do?
What don't I do?
I don't know.
Be humble.
Oh, you really don't know. You weren't joking.
No, I'm literally stuck. Most of the station is just for research. We don't have luxuries like
Boom clap.
When it comes around the side, oh yes, is that something I can do for you?
And with 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 hands, he gestures over. Please, fill in our new friends. I've never heard of the Elder Zan.
Oh yes, Elder Zan is very powerful with the magics and does certain things with people, helps them, guides them, and all for a minimal fee.
Yes.
Oh,
Just for operations.
oh, that's wonderful. That's such like selfless and noble work.
Well, I was born for it.
That's awesome. Can you help me? Like, is it?
Do you have trouble?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Then yes.
how does it work? Do I have to lay down or?
Just be comfortable.
Oh, okay. And they kind of just like slouch a little bit.
May I touch you?
Sure. And they hold out their arm.
And it's like one hand on the arm, and Elder Zan just like sits there in silence for like a couple minutes, which he knows everything he needs to immediately, but for show.
I'm picturing like one hand on the arm, another hand off to the side like this, and two.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And yeah.
Like,
That's great.
I like how you're trying to emulate forearms, but you only have two.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna.
Nice.
Oh no! Nice. And crew, can you
Is that
do
right?
that?
here's what we need to do. We need to invite another person.
I need someone to be my other arm behind me. Please. Come on.
That person would be
bringing
so
them.
bored. Okay,
If I can get someone.
if you could get someone, you can't trick them into appearing though.
I do want to say, okay, but Katie did ask what species they were. I want to know that.
Human.
They are human.
Cool.
At any point, if they were to talk to Boomclap would be an open book, would talk about everything he's ever done, minus a week period of time that he can't remember.
And there's multiple, like, it's not just one person, right? This is just an interaction.
Yeah, several
so
researchers.
You have somebody up in front with you, like, as you're piloting the ship, and they're like, this is so cool. I've never actually piloted one before.
Oh,
Like,
yes, it's very cool.
Can I steer it for a bit?
Oh, probably not, because the last pilot got ejected out for crashing.
Oh. Of this ship?
Of this ship,
This
yes.
ship crashed?
This ship, yeah, the last pilot crashed the ship, but don't worry, I'm very good.
Great. I'm gonna go.
I say as I pull my eye patch back down.
They're like, I'm gonna.
And I'm like steering one-handed, like, and it's the robot hand.
You
Is that no worries?
they get up and walk, and you see them just kind of mulling around doors and just kind of like holding on to door frames and
Okay,
like,
bye now.
walking back and forth like the more and more you travel. As you travel, you kind of don't really get to know these people. They're more looking to listen and hear stories about, wherever it is that you're from, whatever it is that you do. And eventually, you see the station. And so I'm assuming that you're going to dock with the station, deliver the crew.
Yes.
You were, by the way, I didn't mention this, I apologize. You were paid up front. So this isn't something you're going to get paid for when you get there.
Hey, yeah, no worries.
yeah.
And we spent that money already, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, great.
That's basically your starting goal is the goal for the thing that you're doing right now.
I gotcha.
So you hear docking sequence initiated.
Well, we need Kitty here for this. She could do that perfect.
She could be the arms. And she could do the voice.
No, not me, Kitty. The
I know.
one in chat.
I know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay, I'm sorry. We get.
if you want to
confused.
fly out,
You're playing
You're gonna fly from Boston.
we aren't paying
Yeah,
for the
from
ticket, but you're welcome to do the
Fire
thing.
from Boston.
And as the doors open, you see this research facility is bustling with activity. There's researchers of various species doing various things. A lot of them don't even notice that you have stepped into their station. They're just kind of going about their business. Some of them look at you and hey, and then keep going. They don't care that you're there. They're just like, eh.
They're like, that was probably authorized.
And then some of them are just like the people that you brought here, and they're just like, oh, you're from somewhere else. Talk to me. And so there's a small group of 3 or 4 of them that approach you, and they're like, oh, hi, how's it going? Oh, hey, you're back? Hey, nice to see you. And they're shaking hands with their friends. And you're just kind of standing there. None of them really stop long enough to unless you want to grab one of them and try talking to them. They just kind of curse me you're cool. Hey, how's it going? I hope you had a great flight. And then they go up to one of their buddies and starts talking to them.
Cool. So I think I would motion for Soren to come down to me.
I just kind of walk up and lean down next to lean down a good 4 feet.
Yeah, you're almost at a 90 degree.
Yeah, how tall are you?
They're good 6'4".
Yeah, I thought so.
Up
very
to
tall.
7 feet, I think.
And I'm 3 feet tall. So yeah, very, very far down.
Like it?
Probably a little shorter than you. Yeah.
You're
Which I don't love.
You're beating me out, or I'm beating you out just the top of your cone, barely.
For sure, yeah. When I look down, my head is taller than you.
No, you're salty because you're measuring the antenna versus your cone.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
my antenna are slightly taller than you.
Yep.
Yeah, so I
bend
gesture
down.
you down and say, Zoran, so did you find any information from them? Were you able to talk about some of your science things? Did you learn anything? None of them seemed to know anything about the ship, so I didn't get any cool piloting information, but you got anything? Anything?
I give you kind of a deadpan dumbfounded, deadpan expression. I'm like, me? As I say with my mouth, and I switch to telepathy. I'm like, wait, you wanted me to talk to them?
Oh, is that just very talkative? I just assumed that maybe they talk to you.
No. They just
and
come,
this is telepathy, yeah. So,
and he says they just come get their motion sickness pills from me and go back to their rooms.
So, yeah, and then I'm gonna turn to Gray. Did you learn anything? Is it anything at all?
You're there. I telepathically respond. I talked to quite a few of them. They remind me very much of where I came from. They only spent time together, doing a lot of research. They were very desperate to communicate, but nothing of interest, at least from what I could tell.
Well, I had 12 times.
One of them did have a little brother that was a twin, which was very interesting.
A twin little brother?
Yes.
That is very interesting. My race has a lot of twins. There's a litter of us.
I was about to actually ask you, but I wasn't. Yes. I was afraid it might have been insensitive.
I have 13 twins.
I telepathically think to Gray, swarms.
Yeah.
This is all off the ship, right? This is like
you're casually at this point, like you guys might start to feel a little bit uncomfortable. You're just standing in the entryway. The people that you've delivered have left without saying anything to you and have just kind of like vanished into the station itself.
And we were just dropping them off, right? We have no. All right.
Nothing is keeping us here. I was gonna say I haven't left the ship. If there's nothing that we're supposed to do here.
But wait, if we got paid up front, do we have a job after this?
No.
So I want to link with you and be like, well, it's your turn to find us more work.
Oh no, it'll never be my turn.
It's literally your only job.
Listen, if you bring me some options, I'll choose one. That sounds great.
How about I go out and choose one, and you know that you're not going to like it.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun at all. How about you choose one and one that I do?
The door you had just entered through that connects your ship to the station shuts, and you hear, "Emergency procedures activated. Please remain calm." And then the alarm again.
The door between the ship and the...
Yeah,
so
you're
So I'm all on the
Elder
station,
Zan
and
is
he's on the ship.
Yep.
And we're on the station.
That's gonna suck.
Oh, I guess we don't have a captain anymore.
I turned to everyone and go, I'm the captain now.
And as this is all happening, red lights, nothing's happening from your perspective. You can faintly hear the alarm sound, and you know that something's wrong because you didn't tell the door to do that.
Right.
From your guys' perspective, you see red lights flashing. The people around you aren't panicking. They're not afraid per se. They all immediately turn and look at this giant viewfinder that happens to spring to life just as the alarms start. And from it, you see from a portal come a ship that is unlike anything you've seen before. Not in any way necessarily like imposing or intimidating, but unique. And it flies through the front of the portal and kind of continues forward for a bit. And then its engines start to stutter a little bit. And then they turn off and it's drifting.
Oh god, it's a ghost ship. Let's not go on it.
I wonder if I could fix it.
You could certainly try.
No, I'm saying that to the group.
I thought you were talking to me.
No.
You could try?
I'm immediately interested in like a ship that's broken. It's like maybe we can leave Elder Zan. Oh wait, I said that.
Excuse me.
Another alarm, and you see from the portal again something else emerge, much, much larger than the ship that came out the first time. And hey, that's where we're going to end today. But next time, I was going to say on hijinks and handlebars, but that's it's just
wow.
It's ingrained in my brain.
Been rewatching that?
Or just hear it every single time.
Or just hear it every single time we do it. Next session, we're going to start with session 1, the actual first real session where the characters are going to have their characters built, and it's going to be really fun. I hope you enjoyed the 0 session. I personally love learning about the characters that our players play, because they always have really great ideas for them. And that's kind of my favorite part about role-playing games in general. But for now, we're going to go ahead and sign off. I've been Krug, your game master, and you can find me at KrugQT on Twitter if you want to talk to me there, or if you want to talk to QueueTimes in general, you can talk to them at _QueueTimes.
I have been Jonas Newhouse playing the wicked Elder Zan, and you can find me on Twitter to talk about how wicked Elder Zan is at Jonas Newhouse.
I'm Katie. You can find me on Twitter at MC80Katie. All my other handles for everything else but Twitter is Katie_MC80. Katie, please. I am actually I am my own streamer, and I'm actually starting to stream my own art. I'll be doing a graphic novel called Tribe 7, and I'll be doing some of that art on there if you guys want to follow me there on Twitch, Katie_MC80.
Okay, cool. Hold on. I got like a tickle.
Thank you for waiting until your turn.
When all the focus was on you.
Like, oh my gosh.
Good call.
Okay, so I'm William, and I am playing the wonderful Yasaki named Boomclap. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at KWilliamWhite. I also do a show every Tuesday here on QueueTimes at 6:30, currently PDT. And that is Hijinks and Handlebard.
That's when we do our D&D.
You haven't had Xander on that show yet.
Hijinks and Handlebars. It is an actual play Kids on Bikes tabletop live stream. If you don't know what Kids on Bikes is, if D&D is Lord of the Rings, then Kids on Bikes is Stranger Things. So basically it's just kids having strange adventures in a small town. It's really wonderful. It's a continuous campaign. We just finished up episode 16.5. That was like sort of a one-off. So if you want to jump in and see how the mechanics work and like how we play, that's a decent place to start. But it does not have one of the main characters from the cast. So if you are more interested in seeing how everyone meshes, just go to session 1. We also have a short video we made that's a Meet the Cast. And that's a good way to get introduced to everybody. So you can find all of that on QueueTimes' main YouTube channel in a playlist called Hijinks and Handlebars. And I'm excited to come back and do this next week.
My name is Indigo. You can reach me on Twitter at IndigoQT. I was playing, I was describing, I should say, Klaxar, the gray mechanic, not engineer.
Nice.
And that's it, yeah.
I'm Alex on Twitter and Instagram at AlexNotBrian. Alex_not_Brian.
There you go.
Specificity. It's important.
Yes.
I was playing the edgier than intended Lashunta Witchwarper Soren. But hey, it'll be fun. I hope I don't get you all killed.
I hope I do.
I hope I don't, because I don't want that. Anyways, Thank you for stopping by. If you want to come back next week, same time, same channel, we will see you then. You're not going to be here next week, right?
What?
What's next week? No, I'm here next week. It's the week after.
Cool. Never mind. Forget I said anything. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.